you can count on from the Home Depot. And with the connected ThinQ app, you'll know if the door is left open and when to replace the filter. Gear up for fall with Labor Day savings on LG, America's most reliable appliance brand at the Home Depot. Offer valid August 21st through September 10th, U.S. only. See store online for details.
Football is back. Our world champion Birds kick off their season against Dallas Thursday, September 4th. And the place to be? Ventnor Social, Down Beach's newest upscale sports bar. It all starts with the ultimate family-friendly tailgate party at 5:30, featuring a live DJ and food and drink specials to keep you fired up till kickoff. Then watch every play come to life on 27 big screen TVs with a sound system that puts you right in the action. Get in on the excitement at Ventnor Social on Ventnor Avenue in Ventnor. Follow them on Facebook for specials.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
We are live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, Labor Day weekend edition on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Oh boy.
Labor Day, Josh.
Big football weekend, Mike Carlin. Here. He's got Penn State decked out already. He's got the white. Are you ready for the whiteout already? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I am.
I love that.
4 weeks away, but yeah.
So we are live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Marmora, Labor Day weekend edition of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. And, you know, obviously today is you can hear it a little bit in the background, it's the final show for Lee Corso. So a lot of people are tuned in for that here. And we got a big show ourselves here. So let's get into it. So we got prizes to give away. We'll talk about the prize in just a minute. We got lots of football guests to get into. We got the Phillies to get to from last night. But remember, folks, you must be present to win. We are going to give out prizes every hour from 12 to 3 p.m. here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. You must be present to win, okay? So here's the guest lineup coming up here. So coming up at 12:25, we'll talk Eagles with Cayden, Steele, who covers the Eagles for NJ.com. 1:25, our weekly fantasy football segment with Andy McNamara coming up at 1:25. And then at 2:25, my buddy Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press covers the NFL. He will be joining us. So we got tons of football to get to this hour here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN as we are live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. And Mike, we got some great prizes. Let's talk about the prizes really quick. So every hour, we'll be doing a trivia giveaway. So people can play trivia. They have a chance to win. Now, we have an Eagles shirt hanging over our head here. We have a Philly City Connect hat we can give away.
That you don't see a lot of. I mean, that's a great hat now.
It's a very hard to find hat.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
And then we have not one, but two Malibu beach chairs. But I can't promise both will still be here by the end of the show because Mike Carlin might try to take one of them.
One may be lost. Yeah, I don't know how it got lost, but one may get lost. Anybody that knows me and knows I'm a Malibu guy, but they're beautiful and they're I'm sure I'll be able to let both of them go. It will be hard, but we'll see.
So let's get into it. Before we get to the football, we got to get to the Phillies from last night, Mike Carlin, because the Phillies game last night was an example of, at least for me, why a team like Philadelphia is interesting. Because you lose 3 straight to the Mets, right? Then you're in a situation where you come home, everyone's frustrated with you. Then you score 19 runs. So it's a situation where you scored nothing on Wednesday, 19 on Thursday, and 2 last night. To me, I have always said the rockiness of this team, the up and down nature of the dynamics of this team has always been complicated. And for me, when I look at the Phillies, I know for a fact that these up and downs, Mike, is what frustrates the fans. The fans just want a little more consistency from their ball club than this up and down roller coaster ride that drives everyone nuts.
Well, okay, I hear you. But we don't expect them to score 19 runs every game, right? So I'm not going to say the time, but we also have to look at the pitchers. The pitching that was part of that 19 game. At the end of the game, they didn't even have the real pitcher in. It was like a position player was pitching at the end.
Right.
But I just think that I don't know. It's a 2-1. To me, that's a typical baseball game, not a 19-4 or whatever it was.
Right.
So I take it as a win. That's all I care about, Josh. I don't care if you win 20-0, you win 1-0. We just need wins against a team like Atlanta that we should be winning. This should be a 4 sweep.
Right.
Okay. People were saying let's hope we get a half and half, 3-1. No, this team is a lot worse than us. I mean, they're so bad. I'm getting my numbers mixed up here, but my point is the Phillies are a hell of a lot better than Atlanta. So you win today, you win tomorrow, and you move on.
Right. By the way, don't forget, folks, Sunday Night Baseball is the Phillies game on Sunday. And, of course, you can come to yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora for all the college football this weekend. The Phillies games tonight and tomorrow night. They have it on the TVs outside, inside, on the back deck. Yesterday's is your sports bar at the Jersey Shore. And, of course, we are here once a month with Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Now, Nick back in the studio. I know Nick has the audio of, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Nick, but we don't have to play the audio if you don't have it queued up yet. But it's the idea that Nick Castellanos was pulled as a defensive replacement later in the game, Mike. Now, you might remember he was pulled earlier in the year and it became a whole fiasco.
Correct.
Right? Well, he was pulled again last night. And I got to tell you, the more that guy talks, the more I hate him. I cannot stand the selfish brat nature of that guy. That guy does not appreciate the fact that this is a team environment. They're trying to win ball games. It's not about his feelings or his ego. You know, in 2008, Mike Carlin, you know what they did with Pat Burrell?
Yeah.
They pulled him out the defensive replacement almost every single game.
Yeah.
Do you see Pat Burrell going to the media after the game complaining about it?
No.
Pat Burrell.
The times have changed.
You know what Pat Burrell had that year? He had over 30 home runs and almost 100 RBI. Nick Castellanos is going to get nowhere near that. Pat Burrell is 10 times the player than Nick Castellanos is. But for some reason, this guy wants to get up there and act like he's better than everybody. He's smarter than everybody. He's, you know, this, I hated it last year. It was like, he has to play every day. Why?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a team player and not a team player.
Yeah.
That's the big picture here. Okay. A team player is, hey, if someone can do better tonight than I can, then I'll take the night off or whatever. But you got to be a team player with, and he's coming off right now not being a team player.
And the problem with him is that when you have a guy like Castellanos who he just his, you know, we live in a world where how you present yourself matters. Mm-hmm. Your presentation matters. How you talk about yourself. Did you shave that day? Did you shower? How do you treat the people who are maybe, you know, not the, you know, the most important people in the room, right? You know, are you courteous? Are you considerate? All the small things that are a part of this conversation. Well, Castellanos is completely oblivious to that. And frankly, I kind of resent the fact that his teammates, that nobody ever grabs him, takes him aside and says, dude, you need to grow up. You need to get on the same page with the rest of us. You know, Mike, doesn't matter what the sport is. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. These are team sports. It's about the team. It should not be about the individual. And I don't think Castellanos gets that. And I think he's so tone deaf to the reality that, guess what, Nick Castellanos, you're not playing well.
But do you also think that, like, the guys like Kyle and Harper, the guys that would say something to him are like, hey, the last thing we want to do is disrupt anything. We're 2 days away from September. Like, we got to be more of a team than ever right now. If he gets mad at us about something that we may say or pull him to the side, we could lose him for the rest of the year. And trust me, there's going to be, between now and the time hopefully they win the World Series, there's going to be a game or two where we're going to need him. That he's going to come up big for us.
Yeah, well,
I hope.
I hope you're right, because I feel like this team, I don't like it when guys are not all in. So, like, for example, Nick Earnshaw is back in the studio producing for us in the studio. He interviewed Rashard Davis on his, check out Nick Earnshaw Radio on YouTube. And one of the things Rashard Davis talked about was the team camaraderie of the 2017 team. And he told one of the stories about how, Chris Long always washed his hands before he used the bathroom. And guys would look at him and be like, what? And he explained it to them. He's like, come on, you got to wash your hands. We're touching the bus. We're touching all this stuff. That one thing, the entire rest of the team, the rest of 2017 season, washed their hands before they went to the bathroom. Like, small things like that become part of the team chemistry of an organization. And for an organization like the Phillies, I'm worried that a guy like Castellanos is not fully invested in the team because his ego, or he's too sensitive, or he's too emotional, or he's whatever, that's going to get in the way. Whereas you see a guy like Chris Long, who, listen, Chris Long had to relegate himself in 2017. That guy was a lottery pick. That guy was a top pick in the draft. He came to Philadelphia and said, I got to be a team player. I got to be one of the guys. And he amplified and he excelled in that team player environment.
I don't think Nick is the team player that we look in a box like this is how a team player should always act 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I'm not going to say he's not a team player, but he's a player within himself with that team, if you know what I mean here by saying it. He cares about him. Don't get me wrong. But I truly believe he cares about the team because as good as the team goes, he goes. And if you don't think he's thinking about his next contract and I got to play and I got to get it, that's in his head too. So, again, I think Nick is Nick and Nick's not going to change, okay? But there's going to be a day that we're going to need Nick. There's going to be weeks at a time. We still have a good 4 or 5 weeks here. We're going to need Nick, and we don't need Nick walking around with his head down thinking that the rest of the team's talking about me. That's the last thing we need.
Text board is open at 609-403-0973. Stephen EHT chimes in. I'm with you about Castellanos. It's one thing that he's a terrible baseball player for half the year, but the audacity to complain about being pulled is crazy. He goes on to say, being shut down by Bryce Elder is nothing to get excited about. Now that's part of what's frustrating, Stephen EHT, because as you text in at 609-403-0973, Castellanos in his career before that game last night was 4 for 8 against Elder with 4 home runs, Mike Carlin. So then he does nothing last night. And then he wants to be moping around because they got pulled from the game as a defensive replacement. Listen, I'm glad you threw out the guy at home plate. But you know what? Throwing the guy at home plate doesn't fix the fact that you are limited as an athlete. It doesn't change that. And
yeah, it's only one dimension of the game, but it's a big dimension, but yes.
And frankly, you could argue, if you go based off of Stephen EHT's rationale on the text board, Mike, maybe the Phillies were a little lucky to get the win last night because you're going against a pitcher that you should have knocked around a little bit.
And you didn't.
And you didn't. And this is what's going to happen in the postseason. You're going to get to the postseason, and you know what's not going to be there? Bad pitchers.
Every night.
Every night, there's going to be some sort of stud, some sort of beast, some sort of guy who's going to be in a position to shut you down. And you know what? I don't care what the analytics say. I don't care what the metrics say. You know what matters, Mike Carlin?
The win.
What matters is doing your job.
Yeah, doing your job and getting a win. Again, it goes back to I don't care how you get it, just get it. Get the win. And if that means you're a starting pitcher and there's going to be a game in the playoffs where all of a sudden we need a bullpen and the guy comes up and says, hey, I'm ready. I can go in. Okay. You don't have to be defined just as a starting pitcher or just as a relief pitcher. Everything's out there. You pitch and you pitch the best players you can.
What's interesting is that, when Wheeler first went down, right, when he first announced he had the blood clot and he was getting surgery, the team went on a run. And Nick Earnshaw coined back in the studio for Nick's Nuggets on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill during the week here on 97.3 ESPN. I'm Josh Hennig. He's Mike Carlin, hanging out at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. We're streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Nick talked about, win it for Wheeler, right? And it seemed like at first they rallied around their teammate who went down. And I'm just kind of wondering what happened to that energy. Like, it's kind of weird that, like, hey, everything was for a week. Boom, boom, boom. And then it fizzled.
I think that's life, though, Josh. I mean, you didn't think they were just going to go for the rest of the season being how they were playing.
Well, it would have been nice if they would have scored, one run on Wednesday. That could be shut out 6-0. It would have been nice if they didn't get swept by the Mets. I mean, there's.
I think someone goes down and the team does. There is a little. Hey, we got to help him out. Let's try to push him to the side and win some games and try to almost forget about him. You can't forget about him, but I think that only lasts for so long.
I think the biggest encouraging thing about last night, because as much as we could play about the offense, the fact that Ranger Suarez has bounced back the last couple starts is huge because you're going to need him in the postseason.
Absolutely.
That guy, and I wrote an article on 973ESPN.com about. I think the Phillies need to strongly consider 3 starting pitchers in the postseason. I think the key is going to need to be you have to go out there and go with Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going with your 3 best pitchers, you're basically telling the other team to beat you.
Oh, yeah, they're going with this. I believe they're going to go with this, Troy.
Well, there's a lot of argument they could go with Nola, for example, or maybe even Taijuan Walker to break up the lefty-righty setup. So I don't know if that's the right idea, though.
I don't think so at all. I think Nola is – I think he's back just because he has to be back. I don't think they're planning on him, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's back 100%.
Again, we are broadcasting live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Of course, you come down here and watch all the college football action out here in the yard or inside at the bar or on the back deck. Everywhere you want to be. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern has got you all football season here in South Jersey. We are giving away prizes 1 per hour, okay? So the way we're going to do it is it's going to be a trivia contest. You must be present to win. We got the Malibu Beach chairs. We got a Philly City Connect hat, and we have an Eagle shirt. You can win it all, but you must be present here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Josh Hennig along with Mike Carlin hanging out with me here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. By the way, stay tuned for later in the show. We have a special announcement of where we will be next Saturday on September 6th. We will be in a very special place that's familiar to both me and Carlin. Starting next Saturday and every month, we will be in Atlantic City. That's all I'll give the folks right now. We will be in Atlantic City. Now, if you watch the stream at Josh Hennig on YouTube and X last night, you would have heard the initial announcement. But we're going to hold it for a little bit here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern.
We're building up for it.
Speaking of the Eagles, because we have the Eagles shirt.
This is the place to be, Josh, from what we just heard.
So we got a TV. If you're looking on YouTube and X, there's a big TV behind us. That TV will be on at yesterday's in a basically almost like a viewing experience you can't find anywhere else, where people can sit on these lawn chairs that are sitting in front of us on the stage we're set up here at yesterday's, and they can watch the Eagles game on the big screen behind us.
Full bar with TVs.
It's going to be absolutely wild to be here, and we always know being at yesterday's is a great place to be for an Eagles game. There's nothing like it in South Jersey.
Food specials, drink specials, and the giveaways that he's going to have. Did you hear about all the player jerseys he's got and stuff he's going to be giving away? I mean, you're an Eagles fan, guys out there listening, and ladies, this is the place to be. This is going to be a lot of fun.
We got Cayden Steele from NJ.com coming up in about 8 minutes from now. One of the things I'm going to ask him about is, the Eagles, they had their initial 53-man roster this week, Mike Carlin. But then they started doing some shuffling. And there was a very curious move they made this week. For those who didn't notice, who's back at practice this week?
Who?
Britton Covey.
Ooh.
But you know what the Eagles didn't do? They didn't announce he was coming back. It's just one day he's on the field running around.
Kept it quiet.
They kept it quiet. And, Nick Sirianni did this whole thing on Tuesday where he was like, well, we don't want to give away who our punt and kick returner is because we don't want to give Dallas an advantage. It's the kick and punt returner, Mike Carlin. You're worried about the competitive advantage of the kick and punt returner. So that's one of the many things we're going to get into coming up next with Cayden Steele from NJ.com. He's Mike Carlin. I'm Josh Hennig. We're hanging out with you here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Come on down for your chance to win a Phillies shirt or a Philly Connect City Connect Phillies hat. We got the Malibu Beach chairs and much, much more. So come down and hang out with us. Watch the games here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin, hanging out with you on Labor Day weekend on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle, and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Philadelphia Eagles football is back. Listen as the
Super
Bowl champions open the 2025 season hosting their NFC East rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, on Thursday Night Football.
You don't do that. You don't help Cowboys to their feet.
Pre-game coverage begins at 7. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 8:20.
Back goes Prescott. He's looking. He steps up. He's hit. And he's dropped.
This is where the Super Bowl champs play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station.
Your go-to spot at the Jersey Shore to watch sports is also the Can't Miss Summertime Hangout for live music and great times in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora features The Yard, with an outside bar, TVs, and live music on stage every weekend. So bring your friends to cheer on your favorite team, watch the sunset on the back deck, and make new summer memories in The Yard. You can do it all at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to learn about upcoming events and specials all summer long at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels of Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
For the entire month of August, power up your weekends with a Red Tag clearance event at Whitehorse RV Center. Take advantage and score bottom dollar pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Whitehorse RV has them all in stock. These vehicles are perfect for tailgating, road trips, and getting away on your terms. There's no games at Whitehorse RV and no pressure. Just real savings on RVs built for freedom and fun. Don't wait. These Red Tag deals won't last. 2 locations to serve you in Williamstown and Galloway. Whitehorse RV Center. Your RV adventure starts here.
Get Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot with up to 35% off, plus up to an extra $450 off select appliances like Whirlpool that can keep up with your busy routine. Whirlpool refrigerators from the Home Depot have the storage and ice capacity for everything from school lunches to stocking coolers for sports practice. Celebrate Labor Day with savings on select appliances at the Home Depot. Offer valid August 21st through September 10th, U.S. only. See store online for details.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The Kitchen Shop has a brand new home. They're now open at 6422 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, right next to the Inquisition Tattoo Shop, with a bigger showroom and more displays. They now offer full bathroom remodeling too, because your favorite kitchen remodelers just got even better. Celebrating 20 plus years in business with our Labor Day sale, 5% off all cabinets, plus an extra 5% off for military and first responders. Call 609-432-7647 or visit thekitchenshop.net. The Kitchen Shop, voted Best of the Press Gold.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Elevate your luxury experience at Matt Blatt Infinity in Egg Harbor Township. Lease the 2025 QX60 Lux for just $349 a month. Yes, only $349. Or drive the commanding 2025 QX80 Sensory for just $799 a month. Prefer to finance? Matt Blatt Infinity is offering up to $15,000 off MSRP on select QX80 Sensory models with 0 down and no payments until October. But hurry, these offers are only available for a limited time. And once they're gone, they're gone. Matt Blatt Infinity needs your current vehicle. We'll pay top value for your trade, even if you're still making payments. We'll make it easy to step into something new. Why settle for less when you can afford luxury at Matt Blatt Infinity? New QX60 Lux just $349 or QX80 Sensory just $799. Both with 0 security deposit. Matt Blatt Infinity, where luxury lives and you belong. On approved credit, must have qualifying trade Infinity or other luxury brand. $1,666 per thousand. Offers not in combination through IFS. Lease rebate and dealer discount 36 months, 5,000 miles per year. First payment up to $12,360 dealer discount rebate to dealer plus tax $589 doc fee. Call 877-289-6670 or visit mattblattinfinity.com. Ends 9/1/2025.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig broadcasting live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora here on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, don't forget, you have an opportunity to win prizes like an Eagles t-shirt, an Eagles City Connect hat, as well as other great prizes we will be giving away. But you must be present. We'll be doing trivia giveaways at the end of each hour. But right now, we're going to get more into the Eagles because it's been an interesting week if you haven't been paying attention. I understand for a lot of people, the Micah Parsons news has been hot and heavy out there. But Cayden Steele from NJ.com is joining us right now on 97.3 ESPN because Cayden, Howie Roseman is back at it again. He's doing the roster shuffling. I love the comment he made earlier this week saying that we look at this as a 70-man, not a 53-man. It's probably the most pertinent information from the Eagles to kind of let us all know that the Eagles are looking at this roster differently than other teams are.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely consider the development aspect in the 70-man roster part. And Howie Roseman is always aggressive. He didn't make a big move this week. Some people maybe expected a trade, but it was really more minor moves to fill out the roster, which is an important aspect. But I still think the Eagles eventually are going to make a big move at some point this season. They still have the trade deadline. So I think that's even the more important aspect. You talked about the 70-man roster, but also the fact that he's able to evaluate this roster going into September. They aren't done finishing. And then when he said they're not done, and he was talking about just overall the roster construction, they're going to continue to churn over the bottom of this roster continually. Any small margins that will help. And then, yeah, I expect them to make another move at some point as well. So Howie's always working, which is a good thing.
Now, you mentioned making another move. Well, one of the interesting moves that was made this week was the one that nobody saw coming, which was all of a sudden guys like you are covering the team at practice, and there's Britton Covey running around with a Guardian cap on his head. And I'm looking on social media being like, is this an old tweet? Is this an old post? Like, I thought I was being like duped or something. And, all of a sudden it's like all guys like you and everybody covering the team is like, yeah, Britton Covey's here, but we don't have an official announcement from the Eagles. Talk about what that was like for everybody.
Yeah, it didn't shock me. I think I wrote a story earlier this week, and I was like, it makes sense for Britton and Covey to come back. I mean, one, he had the neck problem last year, so he got released. No one was probably going to be too interested. He probably wasn't going to have a big market. So coming back to Philadelphia makes sense for him. I mean, but just going back on seeing him, yeah, it was a little interesting that there was no announcement, and you see 85. You're like, oh, there's that small wide receiver. He looks kind of familiar, and then you can see it's Covey with the 85.
He looks kind of familiar.
Yeah, he's not many guys are built like Britton Covey, But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I think there was that discussion leading into the other day. Who's going to return punts, right? Is it going to be Cooper DeJean? Is it going to be Jahan Dotson? That signing might tell you that Vic Fangio's like, we don't want this to be Cooper DeJean, or he does not want this to be Cooper DeJean returning punts, even though he was great at it at Iowa. He was good at it last season. Yeah, I think Britton Covey is your safe option. You know what he is as a punt returner, and maybe he's your punt returner for the first 4 weeks. I imagine that's what it's going to be. Jahan Dotson and Cooper Jean can do it, but I expect Britton Covey to take over that role pretty soon.
We're talking with Cayden Steele, of course, covers the Eagles for NJ.com, joining us here, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN, also streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Just follow at Josh Hennig. So you just mentioned about, the kick and punt return. Obviously Fangio has been pretty vocal, right, about the whole, I don't want my guy back there. I want him for other things. But I always thought it was funny because it was kind of like, well, you might not want him back there, but he might be the best player to do the job. So do you think Britton Covey is here purely because of the kick and punt return, or do you think there's something else going on?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, Britton Covey, in my opinion, doesn't have much offensive upside. Like, I don't think he's going to play a role in offense. I mean, so I don't really think he serves you like this, like high upside depth on the practice squad as a wide receiver. I think he is here because he is a sure-handed option who can return punts. And then when they were making a decision about Anais Smith, I mean, that played a role in it. Anais Smith wasn't reliable, at least when it came to fielding punts. You know what Britton Covey gives you there. So I think he is the punt returner here. But to your point, I mean, Cooper DeJean could be the best punt returner in the NFL. And, like, if they're in a game situationally and they're looking for a big return, maybe they can use him in that aspect as well. But I think Britton Covey, is their sure-handed option that they're bringing back just to give them an option they can feel comfortable with.
Speaking of feeling comfortable, we know that Fangio is very big on guys knowing his scheme, right? He wants guys to know what he's running. He doesn't like
why, not just know, and why.
And the why as well. So how surprising is it that Tristan McCollum is no longer here and all of a sudden Marcus Epps, who played with Jonathan Gannon, not Vic Fangio, is here?
A little surprising, right? Like, Tristan McCollum didn't have the best preseason, and generally, like, I'm not sure what his upside is as a player, but Vic has seemed to like him. I mean, we're talking about a guy that back in the spring, when he mentioned the safety competition, he really opened up saying it's Drew Makuba, Sidney Brown, and Tristan McCollum. He also, talked, pretty highly about Tristan during training camp as well. So, I mean, the fact that he earned his trust, it was a good sign for Tristan. You figured that he would be a part of the team. He is a solid special teams player as well. I wonder, was this just a decision where they thought they could get Tristan McCollum through waivers? Like, they were confident, hey, we can get Tristan through. He will get him back on the practice squad. It was just a little roster maneuvering, and I wonder if they were caught off guard by him getting claimed by the Raiders. They got word, and then they went out and got Marcus Epps. That's my interpretation. I do think Vic at least liked Tristan McCollum, which is interesting. And Vic and Howie, though, I mean, this came from Howie, and we know that Vic and Howie don't always see eye to eye on things necessarily. So it is interesting that they had that little bit of that back and forth, but it definitely seemed like Vic was a Tristan McCollum guy. So
it's amazing how you can really think about how they put this team together, the Eagles, the front management, and especially Howie. But when you're this good, that you literally can bring a guy in and say your main job for us moving forward off the record is to catch the ball on a punt return and take it up the field. Because most teams will have a guy that's really good at it,
right?
But he's also the wide receiver. He's also the special team. He's doing other things on it. But when this team, when you think about it, is this good at every position, that they have the what's the word I'm looking for? They're so good, let's just put it, that they can bring a guy in and just say, this, I want you to concentrate just on doing this one thing.
Right.
That's unbelievable for me.
I think it's interesting, though, because eventually, if Britton Covey is their punt returner this season, they're going to have to move him up to the 53. They can only elevate him a certain amount of times.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know what upside he brings you as a receiver. So I get the aspect that they're comfortable. If it were me, though, from what I would do, I mean, I would let Jahan Dotson return punts. He was great at Penn State. It saves you a roster spot. You wouldn't have to move up.
He's familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
You see, I mean, you see the shirt Carlin's wearing over here. He's all decked out.
You're exactly right. He's familiar with it. He's proven that he can do it, and he's already on your team, knows your system already.
Yeah. So, like, if you want to do Britton Covey for 4 weeks, that's fine. But, like, I don't know if I'm like cutting a guy that I like they're gonna have to move from a different position, probably like a defensive tackle or an offensive lineman. They're gonna have to waive him and then move up right in Covey. Or maybe injuries happen and sometimes maybe that'll open up the spot. But like I would let Jahan Dotson. You saw it at Penn State. I mean, he was electric. He didn't do it in Washington because he's a first round pick. I mean,
right.
they
were scared
on offense, but
yeah,
no, he could have that role. So.
We're talking with Cayden Steele from NJ.com as the Eagles are preparing. They're just days away, less than a week away from opening the season against the Dallas Cowboys. And while we won't see a Micah Parsons on Thursday night, Cayden, we will see a Dallas offense that is going to try to go high powered. We know Brian Schottenheimer, this is the first time he's ever been a head coach. They added George Pickens in the offseason. Their offensive line has been retooled, we'll call it. I'm not going to say it's good, but I said they retooled it. So how concerned are you? Because a lot of Eagle fans are. The number 2 corner was a competition all camp, right? Keely Ringo failed. He is not going to be the starting corner. And it looks like right now it's Adoree Jackson, which is interesting because it goes back to the Vic Fangio point, knowing the defense. Jacorian Bennett's probably the better player, but Jackson seems like maybe he knows the defense better.
I would be concerned. Look, still compared to the rest of the league, it's like a champagne problem. It's very like they have a few weaknesses here and there. And the cornerback 2, I mean, most teams don't have a great number of cornerback 2, so you hope the guy can at least be average. And like you said, eventually, I think Jacorian Bennett will step into that role. He only played 10 games with the Raiders last year, but it seemed like he was coming on to the point where he was a young, promising player, showed a lot of upside. And if he gets comfortable in this game, maybe he solves that problem. But it's not a good situation to have Adoree Jackson to be the starter. I don't think he had a good camp at all, really. I mean, just to be frank, he just was a lot less bad than the other ones. You mentioned Keely Ringo, Josh. I mean, I do really think when they let go of Darius Slade, they wanted him to win the job. They believed in Keely Ringo, and he just came into camp, and he wasn't much better than he was last summer. Still struggling with the technique aspects. Like, he wouldn't turn his head. He was too grabby. You saw the struggles that he had in the preseason, the big missed tackle on Jamar Chase for the touchdown against the Bengals. It just wasn't a good summer for Keely Ringo. And now they have to fall back on Adoree Jackson, at least in the short term. And if you remember at the beginning of training camp, this is a guy that Vic pretty much just said, yeah, I didn't really want him. This is Howie's guy. So, like, they're in a position where I think they're trying to piece this together, and they're trying to figure out things as they go. And could it be Adoree Jackson for the whole year? Like, I doubt that. It's probably going to be Jacorian Bennett. Could it be even Mac McWilliams, the 5th-round rookie? Like, right. They're in a position where I think they're banking on a lot. And no matter who plays this position, it's going to be a downgrade from Darius Slay. It's going to be a potential weakness. And it doesn't matter how good Quentin Mitchell is and how much he could travel. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that have 2 or 3 good wide receivers. If they have a number 2 wide receiver that can create separation on a consistent basis, like George Pickens, and a very talented player that George Pickens is, like, he could take advantage of Adoree Jackson. They could make him the target on Thursday night. Overall, like, I don't think Dallas is a very good team. So, but that specific matchup, I don't think favors the Eagles, and it probably won't favor the Eagles for most of the year unless Jacorian Bennett steps up, which is possible. So.
Well, listen, the key against Pickens is I think the Eagles need to go Cortland Finnegan on him, where they just start getting all physical. For those who don't remember, Cortland Finnegan was the Titans corner years ago who would get every receiver to fight with him. Like, he got under the skin of Andre Johnson and Mike Evans and, like, guys who were, like, very stoic professional guys. I think Adoree Jackson's key is to start, like, elbowing, Pickens in the ribs.
Try to get thrown out.
Get a little, blur the lines a little bit. Get under his skin, because Pickens, to me, I think he's going to implode that Dallas team this year. He is a bunch of fireworks under a kerosene tank waiting to happen.
Yeah, and you mentioned that it's also George Pickens' personality and stuff. Like, I don't know if Adoree Jackson has to do too much to rile him up. It might just take one small thing and he might do it himself. Like, Andre Johnson, you might have to do that too, but George Pickens, he does that himself. But sure. I will say the good thing about Adoree Jackson, I guess, in this potential matchup, the only thing I can say is that when he has struggled in training camp, when he has struggled in the preseason, a lot of the stuff that he gives up is like underneath. Like, he doesn't get a burnt over the top. Usually he's always in the right position. I do think he's lost some of his athleticism that he once had when he was a star track runner at USC and a promising young player early in his career. Like, I don't think he's the athlete he used to be. But the difference between him and Keely Ringo is that he's always in the right position. He's going to give up some catches, but the Eagles just have more trust in him right now. And I mean, we'll see what happens. But
speaking of see what happens, before we let you go, Cayden Steele from NJ.com covers the Eagles. Check out all of his coverage over there with the NJ Advanced Media. Obviously, Saquon, monster year last year. Penn State guy sitting next to me, remind everybody of that. But monster year. Historically, the next year, there's never been a guy to rush for more than 1,600 yards after a 2,000-yard rushing season. What is a realistic expectations for Saquon Barkley in an offense that does have the firepower to throw it if they need to?
Yeah, I do think they throw the ball more this year. Like, I still expect it to be a run-heavy offense, but it's an offense that can evolve and throw the ball more with the pieces that they have with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. When it comes to whether Saquon's going to decline or not, I do not think so. Like, 2,000 yards is probably unrealistic because they might evolve in that sense, or they pass the ball more and maybe they monitor his carries a little bit. But, like, Saquon Barkley is different than a lot of running backs. Like, I know historically it's not good, but Saquon Barkley's a freak as an athlete. Like, he's just built different. I don't see him slowing down. Like, if he got 16 to 1,700 yards instead of 2,000, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he looked really good in training camp. Like, there was one practice where it was probably early August, and Saquon Barkley just dominated. And, like, you could tell, like, his teammates love him, and it's infectious, and it rubs off, and they're all talking crap to each other, and they're all going back and forth. Like, he doesn't look any slower. He might actually look a tad faster during training camp this summer than he did last summer, in my opinion. So I don't think we've seen – it might sound crazy to say this. Maybe statistically he won't match it, but we might have not seen the best of Saquon Barkley yet.
I think he's dead on. I think Cayden's I think 1,800 yards. I also think Barkley's the type of guy that the less carries you give him, the more in his head he could go backwards. Like, I think you have to give him as much as he thinks he can handle, and I think you get the best out of him that way. So we'll see. It's going to be – but, again, it goes back to, isn't it nice to be in that position?
Oh, great.
Where you know, you got – and I wrote down on some notes, like Will Shipley. Like, I think this could be a year for him coming back, just giving him a couple breaks here and there, and you may see him have a breakout year. And I think Barkley's the type of guy that he proved it last year. It's all about the team.
Right.
If he sees Shipley's doing what he has to do, and it takes a couple carries away from him, but they still get the W, I think they just keep cruising. So we'll see.
Yeah. Good point. Will Shipley had a good summer, and he's a really good pass catcher. I wonder how they try to incorporate him in the offense. He could be an upgrade over Kenny Gainwell in that area. Like, he's got soft hands, and he's also a really good route runner. This is a good RB room in general. I mean, it's good when you have A.J. Dillon as your third running back. Like, he brings some power as well. So it'll be fascinating how they use Saquon this year.
He's Cayden Steele. Check him out at NJ.com, NJ Advanced Media Eagles writer at Cayden_Steele on the X platform. And he joined us today to talk some Eagles here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Cayden, thanks again for jumping on. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Josh Hennig hanging out with Mike Carlin here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Come on, hang out with us. Watch the Ohio State-Texas game, and we'll be giving away prizes each hour, so you must be present to win. Eagles shirt, Malibu beach chairs, Phillies City Connect hat. You must be here. You must be present to win. Still to come on the show, we got more Eagles and Phillies talk, NFL, college football, fantasy football with Andy McNamara coming up the next hour, 125. AP Senior NFL Insider Rob Maaddi at 225. All that and more still to come. Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin, we're hanging out with you at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank, CL, and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's
guys are clear.
You probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Matt Blaney's on 0 down, 0% for 60 months on Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. If you have a job, clear $450 a week, you're virtually approved today. MattBlackNissan.com.
On approved Tier 1 credit through NMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into the vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit MattBlackNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25. Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
Recovering from an addiction is an individual accomplishment. A young mother who chose recovery to care for her family. A high school athlete overcoming opioid addiction. A couple celebrating his recovery. Everyone's recovery is different, and there's no shame in asking for help. Call 844-REACH-NJ. Trained counselors are available 24/7 to help you find the recovery option that's best for you. Tell us your story, and let's begin your recovery today. A message from New Jersey Human Services.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Wow, what's this? New shorts, new shirts, and new boots? Floyd, did you go to the Hub?
I did. They have all the summer clothes I need now that it's getting warmer.
Do they have anything for me?
They do. They've got women's shorts, shirts, boots, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia, Rocky, Ariat, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. And be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Ariat, and Grundens. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands that you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel for men and women, plus an incredible selection of boots for everyone. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Matt Nissan makes car shopping fun.
Every clearly marked Nissan 0 down. 0% for 60 months.
Bring your old car to Matt Nissan.
All right.
If you're stuck in a loan or lease, AJ the Trademan
Check.
can get you low.
MattLandNissan.com.
Tier 1 credit through NMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into the vehicle plus tax tag and $5.99. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit mattblacknissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25.
Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Now, Josh Hennig hanging out with Mike Harlan here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN. Before we get back to all the conversation, we have more guests coming up. It is our first opportunity for everybody to win prizes here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Here's the deal. So, we are going to do a couple of trivia questions each hour. We got the opportunity for you to win the Eagles City Connect hat, the Philly City Connect hat, the Eagles shirt, or one of the Malibu Beach chairs. So, what you got to do is you got to come up to the table. We're going to ask you a couple of questions. If you can get a couple of trivia questions right, you have the opportunity to win one of these prizes. So, whoever wants to compete in the competition with trivia, come on up. And we'll let you guys have a chance to win. We'll be asking Eagles and Phillies questions. All right. You gotta be on the radio, man.
Come on.
Come on. Unless you knock the prize over. So thank you very much.
Whoever wants to be in the trivial question, come on up. Win a prize.
So what's your name?
Mark.
All right, Mark. So would you rather have a Phillies question or an Eagles question?
Phillies or Eagles? Eagles.
All right, you want an Eagles question. All right. So the way this works is you're going to answer the question.
Okay.
If you get it right and you're competing as well,
yes.
So then the next guy is going to compete. If you get it right and he gets it wrong, you get to pick a prize.
Okay.
And you're going to keep going back and forth until one of you is basically wrong.
Okay. I'm wrong all the time. Ask my wife.
Well, your wife isn't here on the microphone, so I can't confirm or deny that. So I'll take your word for it. So, first question. Harold Carmichael has the most receiving yards in Eagles history. Can you name the other player in the top 5 who has played in the last 30 years? Most receiving yards in Eagles history. Harold Carmichael's number 1.
Mike Quick.
Mike Quick did not play in the last 30 years.
No.
So now it's up to the next guy. So now you're going to hand him the headset. All right.
Now you got to hope that he gets it wrong.
So now, what's your name, sir?
Connor.
All right, Connor. So you want an Eagles question or a Phillies question?
Let's go Phillies.
All right. Aaron Nola has 107 career wins. He is 7 behind which Phillies pitcher all time?
Hamels?
That is correct. So now you got the question right. So now you get to pick one of the prizes. So which of the prizes would you like?
I'll take the hat.
All right, the hat is yours. All right, we'll do the next round of trivia in the next hour. Of course, we still have the Eagles shirt and the 2 Malibu Beach chairs. So again, we'll do trivia again, a showdown in the next hour here, part of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Now, did you know the answer to the receiving question, Mike Harlan?
There's a couple that I was going to go with. Naturally, everybody went with Quick right away.
Although, obviously, I said the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So who in the last 30, there's 2 of them actually, but who in the last 30 years is on the top 5 list of receiving yards in Eagles history, Mike Harlan? What's your guess?
I'm going to go with Brown.
Brown is not top 5 yet.
Oh, okay.
So the 2 answers we were looking for that question, you could either have said Deshaun Jackson or you could have said Zach Ertz.
Looks like the guy in the back had Zach Ertz there. Do you have Zach Ertz back there? There you go.
Yeah, see, he knew it.
He got it.
A.J. Brown is currently 14th on the list, not even the top 10 yet. So he needs to play in a couple more years to get into the top 10. When you actually look at the Eagles' all-time history in terms of receiving yards, the list is probably the most ridiculous list I've ever seen, because no one's guessing Pete Retzlaff is second all-time. Tommy McDonald, some people might know, but
Jackson.
Most people might not. But the main names are Jackson. Quick, Ertz. Jeremy Maclin is 10th. Brett Selleck is 9th. How about that?
Yeah. Good question. Good.
So, again, we'll do another round of trivia in the next hour. Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN. Mike, I want to recap a couple of things we were talking with Cayden Steele about from NJ.com, because I thought it was very interesting that, he brought up the fact that, Fangio wanted Tristan McCollum, and they got rid of him. He was not thrilled about Adoree Jackson. Remember, he wasn't thrilled about Bryce Huff last year. Is there any concern in your mind that the defensive coordinator, who, he's near the end of his career, closer to the beginning, maybe at the end of this year or next year, be like, you know what, I'm tired of fighting with this GM over who's on the roster. I'm just going to go retire, hang out with my grandkids.
I don't know about that. I think Howie has proven to anybody, I don't care how many years you've been in the league, that he's proven that he knows what he's doing. And you got to how we always say, let people do their jobs? That's Howie's job, is to give him the people that he truly believes that not just is going to work on the field, going to work off the field, and works within the cap.
Right.
People seem to forget it's all about money. It's not so much getting on the field. You have to be the fit to get on the field through the cap. So I think Franzio is the kind of guy that he knows how he's doing the right thing. He may question him a couple times behind closed doors, but I think when push comes to shove, like you said, he's probably only got another year or two. He just wants to do his job. Just give me the players who I truly believe can get the job done, and I'll do my job.
The funniest thing is, in Eagles history, the two defensive coordinators who have been championship teams, the team number 52, Super Bowl 52, and 59, both coordinators are diehard baseball fans. Jim Schwartz and Vic Fangio would rather talk baseball than even talk about football at these press conferences. Fangio comes to every press conference talking about the Phillies. He comes up and he'd be like, hey, the Phillies are 5 up in the NL East. How about that? And
you would think he has time to even know anything about the Phillies.
Well, the thing is with Fangio, he's a diehard Philly sports fan. For those who don't know, he grew up in the Philadelphia area. So he's been his favorite Phillies player of all time is Dick Allen. And somebody in the Phillies department actually got him a special Dick Allen jersey after the Hall of Fame induction. And he literally brought it with him to the press conference a couple of weeks ago. And Fangio's like, best player in Phillies history right here. He's a character, man. I love it. And then Jim Schwartz would make baseball analogies to explain football. And of course, when you got a room full of media guys, right, who are all covering the Eagles, half of them are probably like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's not my sport.
That's not my sport. All right, coming up, we got more Eagles, Phillies talk, and college football. Ohio State, Texas is going on right now.
0-0 still.
It's still 0-0. Arch Manning struggled a little bit.
First game.
First
quarter, really. Think about it. Let's see from halftime on what he looks like.
Exactly. Don't forget Andy McNamara, Fantasy Football Conversation coming up in just a bit as well. Josh Hennig along with Mike Carlin hanging out with you at yesterday's Creekside Tavern for Labor Day weekend on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. And see how streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio.
You guys are clear.
A showdown in the National League East. It's gone! Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Atlanta Braves face Kyle Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies.
Gone! Over the bleachers and gone. Kyle Schwarber. Wow.
The Braves at the Phillies. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 Eastern, with first pitch at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to Sunday Night Baseball, Phillies Braves on 97.3 ESPN.
As the saying goes, knowledge is power. And when it comes to reading our food labels, that couldn't be more important. Food manufacturers want to get our attention at the grocery store. Bright colors, cool packaging, creative displays. They can all be very enticing, yet overwhelming when trying to make a decision. And it's not by accident. Manufacturers often want to present products as healthier and better than they really are. But looks can be deceiving. Be aware of words such as wholesome, healthy, or natural, which are generally not regulated. Also, pictures of streams or gardens can create the illusion that food is farm fresh or earthy. Read the nutrition label carefully and educate yourself about what goes into your body. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update. Hi, it's Robin Stoloff, excited to moderate the free NJ Healthy Aging Summit, Opioid Safety and Alternatives, September 26th at the Golden Nugget. Reserve your seat now at njhealthyaging.org. Sponsored by the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey, paid for with funding from the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
Shipping on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/9/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of one unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. One discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
Map Lightning's on 0 down. 0% for 60 months on Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. If you have a job, turn $450 a week. You're virtually approved today. MapLightning's.com.
On approved Tier 1 credit through NMAC, negative equity will be refinanced into the vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit mattblacknissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25.
Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him. It's a sack.
Sixers.
Oh, baby.
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hour 2 of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern. Labor Day weekend. Beautiful. Mike Carlin is hanging out with me. Thanks to all the people who came out and watching us. Of course, your wife Lori's here.
Lori's here. I got relatives from
Gabe
Ohio.
and his wife Jen are here.
Gabe and his wife are coming. Mike and the other Mike and Lori are coming, supposedly on the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember, we're the originals. They're the second.
Oh, I'm aware. You're the original. They're the other ones.
We got friends coming up from Wildwood, Bob and Ann. It's good. It's fun. It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's perfect. If you're not on the beach, Josh, this is where you want to be. Okay, especially if you're a college football fan. You got the Texas game on right now, Ohio State. We're going to go right into the Penn State game at 3:30. The bar outside is open. The outside bar is even more open here, if you know what I mean. If you've been to the yard, they have 2 outside bars. It's all covered. We got TVs everywhere. People, I'm looking around. People are eating, they're drinking, they're having fun, they're playing cornhole. Again, if you're a sports fan, come on down to yesterday's. You'll love it. And we got a lot of giveaways.
By the way, you know who's not here today?
Who's not here?
Jeff in Ocean City.
Oh.
He's at the beach. He told me.
He lives
I'm at the beach.
Yeah.
So
I saw him last week on Sunday on the beach.
Shout out to Jeff in Ocean City, who's on the beach. He told me that earlier today. We'll get back to the text board in just a bit. I see Monday Marcus as well as Evan and Lil Leg Harp. We'll get to your text in a moment at 609-403-0973. Just got to do a little reset here. So we'll do our next round of trivia coming up in about 40 minutes from now. Also, we got Andy McNamara. So every week by Carlin, we got Andy McNamara. He comes on, talk about fantasy football. It's a big time of year for a lot of people, right? People got their fantasy drafts going on. We had our 97.3 ESPN fantasy draft earlier this week. So we'll talk with Andy about all that coming up. Also, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press. So here is a little tidbit for you, Mike Carlin.
Go ahead.
After Micah Parsons got traded, Rob Maaddi got a hold of Micah Parsons and got to talk to him.
Ooh.
right after the trade. So we'll talk with Rob Maaddi about that coming up at 2:25, because the Micah Parsons trade has completely changed the topography of the NFC. The entire conference has changed. And I think that is why there's two sides of it. There's the side of it where everyone who is not the Cowboys is laughing at the Cowboys, right? But then there's the side of it where you have a Cowboys fan, like on the text board at 609-403-0973, Evan Little Egg Harbor chiming in on the text board, in caps, by the way, Josh with 5 exclamation points. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I am frustrated, infuriated, and ready to call it quits with this team. It's been shown time and time again that a high-powered offense with little to no defense does not work. Look at the Bengals. They have a great offense. They have an amazing offense. You have to score more than 35 points to beat those teams, though, and they never make the playoffs. The Cowboys have a failing plan. This will not work, from Evan and Little Lake Harbor. That's the other side of the coin, right? The other side of the coin is there are people who are very frustrated with this deal because at the end of the day, to use a term that Mike Gill has used, Jerry Jones is more B.T. Barnum than he is George Steinbrenner. I think in his mind he thinks he's George Steinbrenner.
Correct.
But the reality is that Jerry has not won enough games to reach an NFC championship game since 1996. Nick Earnshaw, who's back in the 97.3 ESPN studio producing for us, wasn't even alive.
He wasn't born yet.
So we are talking about an organization that traded away a all-time great player. And don't forget, this is not the first time Jerry Jones has let a great player walk away. And I'm telling you right now, the rest of the NFC is closely watching the Packers because now they got Micah Parsons entering his prime, and the Cowboys are basically going to be a 500 team for the foreseeable future.
Listen, the Cowboys aren't the Cowboys without Parsons. I don't care who you bring on. He could be an all-pro, stop the run, all that kind of stuff. But you mentioned George Steinbrenner. You know the difference between George Steinbrenner and Jerry? And it's a perfect. There's a guy named Bobby Brown who was a good friend of mine. I actually had him on Billy's show once.
Okay.
Played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
After certain games that the Yankees should have won, and if they didn't win, there was a closed door behind it. Media never knew about. The George would come down and he would get in people's faces.
Right.
And be like, I'm paying you, you know what, son of a, you know what, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That's the difference. Do you think Jerry goes into the locker room when they lose a game and gets in someone's face like that? There's a difference.
No, Jerry's outside the locker room talking to the media.
The media. George wanted to win. Trust me, he was a rich guy, but he cared about winning more than the money. It's the opposite with Jerry. Jerry cares about the money, and if we win, that's great. That to me, that's the difference. And going to the teams, hey, I think right now they went from having an outside shot of winning the division over the, like I had the Eagles, Cowboys, Washington, and then the Giants. I really think Washington did the best they could last year, and they'll be good this year, don't get me wrong, but I just think Dallas was a better team. Now, I have Dallas being number 3, and I have Giants 4. I have Washington moving up to number 2.
Washington, yes, they are definitely number 2, but not just because of the Parsons trade. I think it's also because of the fact that what you just said, that, you know, Jerry is not all about winning. Look at the Eagles. You have a situation with Philadelphia where Jeffrey Lurie, all he cares about is winning, right?
Correct.
He will do whatever it takes. You know, the Eagles are top 3 in the NFL in cash spent. Now, just to explain the dynamic of that. So, as you know, every team has a salary cap. They got to stay under the cap. But there's no cap, Mike Carlin, on something else. That's something else, how much money you spend in bonuses and guaranteed money. The reason why
facilities, all little things that never make it.
So, Jeffrey Lurie, he'll give you more money up front to not put it on the salary cap. And I think that is where the Eagles are a team that has been to the Super Bowl 4 times in the Jeffrey Lurie era, and they've won twice. Because an organization that cares about winning, and it's not just the Eagles, okay? You know, I know Dave over here, he's a Steelers fan. Okay, the Steelers are the same way. The Steelers prioritize winning over the headlines. You know, an organization during the Belichick era, the Patriots, right? And now the Packers. The funny thing is, the Packers don't have an owner to get in the way because it's a shareholder organization. So there's no owner to kind of potentially mess up a Micah Parsons deal.
When you're really talking about the cap, I want the listening audience to really listen to what I'm going to say next. You hear about the cap, but most people really don't understand the cap. I'm going to let you on a little thing. You ready? Dak's cap hit for Dallas Cowboys this year is more than if you put Hurts, Brown, and Barkley together for the Eagles. They're less than what Zach's number one is with the Cowboys. That's when you know how he's doing the right thing. Can you understand that? Okay. Our starting quarterback, our best wide receiver, and our best runner, all pros at all three positions. You combine their cap hit, it's still less than the one guy for the Cowboys.
Correct.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it just goes to show you that the little things matter. In sports, in life, the little. I look at organizations like the Eagles, see how well run they are, and I get annoyed with the Phillies because it's like, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what? Why do we have to sign Max Kepler for $10 million? You know what I mean? You could have used that money on somebody else. You know, I appreciate the fact that you traded those prospects for Johan Duran. By the way, I got back on track last night. What happened to all the people who said that he's a bum? The guy blows one save and everyone acts like he stinks. You know what I mean? Like, no, he came back. He's fine. I love the comment that Rob Thompson made where he said, you know, Mariano Rivera blew 80 saves. he's like, I'm not worried about Duran. But, you know, Dave Dombrowski built a flawed roster. And I always say, I never understood, Mike Carlin, how we can live in a world where you have an organization, like the Eagles, who have had the success that they have had. And the other three teams in the city don't try to at least look at the success the other team is having and say, how can we take that and apply it to what we're doing?
Yeah. Well, it's when you're talking about moving forward with the NFL with these prices that the players are getting now, Josh, they're getting to the point where when is it going to be enough is enough?
Right.
Okay. And there was an executive this week that came out, sources said, that he literally said there's like a memo going around to all the teams that just because you're a starting quarterback and just because you're going into your second round of like you're coming off your rookie contract.
Yes.
Now you're coming in and you don't have to be paid $40 million just because you're a starting quarterback. Okay. Nope. It's got to be to the point where if you're good enough to make 40, you make it, but you don't make it just because, well, I'm your quarterback and this is my second contract and I want $40 million. Those days have got to stop or they're going to be in serious trouble. Because there's guys out there making more than $30 million that they don't belong in the $30 million contract.
Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN alongside Mike Carlin, decked out in his Penn State whiteout outfit as Penn State plays later today. Of course, you can
42-point favorite. It's a joke.
Well, I mean, they're going to win. I'm not worried about that. But Penn State, you can catch the game here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Yes. Right now, the Ohio State versus Texas game. It's on the TVs out here in the yards where we are at. Inside in the interior bar or on the back deck as well. They can do it all. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, of course, live entertainment every weekend. And right here on the stage, speaking of the Eagles, if you're watching on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig, there's a huge TV behind me and Mike Carlin. Well, that TV is where the Eagles-Cowboys game will be on Thursday night. You can watch the game in the yard in almost like a tailgate / almost like a theater.
It's a theater.
Setup. It's pretty cool.
You got your fake grass. You got chairs everywhere. You got the full bar, and then you got seating and shade if you want some shade. There's cornhole. There's TVs everywhere. I mean, again, this is the place to be, Josh. It's that simple.
And if you're wondering, hey, I couldn't make it out this weekend. I'm busy with the family. I'm on the beach. Well, we will be somewhere again next Saturday.
Yes.
We will be, and I'm going to let it out now.
Yep, let it out.
So we have confirmed. This is learned and confirmed before we get back to the text board at 609-403-0973. For the football season, once a month, we will be at yesterday's in Marmora. But also once a month, here hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, we will be at the brand new Gridiron Pit. That is the new, cool, fun thing in Tropicana, Atlantic City. This is an amazing concept. They have these massive widescreen TVs, Mike Carlin. They basically have a combination. It is the ultimate football experience where you have the sports betting tables.
If you're a gambler and you like sports, this is it, Josh.
Because you can grab the table, watch the game, or you don't have to gamble. You can just sit there and watch the game. And they have a tailgate style menu. So now it's almost like being at the game without all the hassle of going to the game. And they will be open starting Eagles, Cowboys opening night.
Thursday they
and
open
then
up.
every Saturday and Sunday they will be open all day and night for football, all day and night. And we will be there once a month on Saturday, starting next Saturday, where we will have a special giveaway. Not giving that information away yet, but I have a special giveaway that I have procured, Mike Carlin. Nobody else except for you knows about this. So if anybody finds out about it and they say something, I'm blaming you. Okay?
I won't.
You would be the weakest link in this conversation.
I'm sure Tropicana's our buddy Joe over there. He'll have some stuff to give away too. They're going to have food specials. And if you're familiar with Tropicana, it's going to be right up next to Chicky and Pete's.
Yep.
They're going to be using some of the menu items from Chicky and Pete's. But the whole area is just going to be beautiful. You're going to be able to gamble and watch the games live right there at the Gridiron. It's a great concept. No one else has that concept in Atlantic City.
So, again, we will be there next Saturday for Hanging with Hennig, 12 to 3 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN. All right, let's get back to the text board. I did promise I would get the Monday Marcus chiming in on the text board. He says, the Phillies let a game go, and each series is important. Yet the Mets play Detroit and Cincinnati, and the Phillies play the Brewers and the Marlins away from Citizens Bank Park. The Mets again. I've been asking about Andrew Painter if he will come up, or if Dombrowski and Topper are okay with the staff they have. Good to hear you outside the studio, Monday Marcus. Let's hit on the Painter thing. Because I had this argument with Billy and Bobby Schweim Thursday night when they were live at the Ocean City High School for the Battle by the Beach. Billy Schweim in the locker room, usually 10 a.m. to noon here on 97.3 ESPN every Saturday and Sunday, but he had a special broadcast Thursday night. And
which we got to get back to a little bit. It was unbelievable for the teams.
Yeah, you were there.
From the teams that came from Maaddi State to our little town here in Ocean City, when you have, two of the top 10 teams in the country are here playing.
Is it bad that when you say little town, I thought it was little town of Bethlehem?
Yeah, this is a bubble down here, Josh. That's what I tell you. When you come from Philadelphia and you move down here, this is a bubble.
It is a bubble.
And you have these teams that fly in from St. Louis. They flew in from Florida. You had Berlin Catholic coming down from North Jersey, one of the top teams in the country. And they come to our little high school, and everybody does the same thing.
Yep.
I watch them. They stand on the field. They go, this is unbelievable. The ocean's right there, and they're just pointing in the boardwalk.
Yep.
But let's get back to what I'm sorry. I jumped in.
So Billy and Bobby brought this up as well on Thursday, and I'm glad Monday Marcus brought it up because I have a little time more to clarify and elaborate on it, right? Which is so. For those who don't remember, before the season, Dave Dombrowski was very, complimentary of Painter's progress, right? And he said, hey, we expect Andrew Painter to be back, right? We expect him to be coming up maybe July or August. Well, July and August are gone, Mike Carlin, and there's still no Andrew Painter. And I'm going to explain why.
Before you say anything,
yes.
I don't think he's coming back.
He'll be here next year.
Yeah, but I mean this year. I don't think
he won't be.
He's done this year for us.
So here's the reason why I say that. Unless there's an injury, God forbid, he's not coming up. He is struggling in the minor leagues because he is having a ton of control problems with the off-speed pitches. His slider control has been horrible. It's the reason why all of his numbers are not good. The reason why he hasn't been called up isn't because of Dombrowski or Topper. It's because he doesn't deserve to come up. He's not ready for the big league level. And listen, they always say Tommy John surgery takes you a long time to get fully back to normal. Look at Sandy Alcantara down with the Marlins. Half the year, he was horrible this year. Second half of the year, he started to look like Sandy Alcantara, the Cy Young Award winner again. These Tommy John surgeries take time. And that's why Monday Marcus, you haven't seen him yet, because the Phillies are not going to bring him up before he's ready. Now, can you blame the Phillies for maybe they shouldn't have said anything before the season? Maybe they shouldn't have put it out there to be like,
make everybody excited.
Right. Maybe you shouldn't have, let on that he could come up and then gone and disappeared. Maybe you shouldn't have made people excited, as you said. So I understand that, but I think at the end of the day, for an organization like the Phillies, I think they're handling Painter correctly.
I agree with you.
But I understand that for people like Monday Marcus and a lot of fans, the messaging is wrong. Listen, Tommy John surgery is like every other surgery now. There's no career-ending surgeries in sports anymore. And this surgery's been going on for, 40 years now? When Tommy John got in the 1970s from Dr. Job. So at the end of the day, I'm not worried about Painter coming back. I just think the Phillies should have never put it out there to say he could come back this year.
I agree with everything you said. And I think right now they know more than we know. Okay. And the last thing they want to do is bring him on when all eyes are on him in the middle of September.
Yep.
And God forbid he has a bad game and his psyche, you'll lose him. He won't come back to a second game.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get to this point, from this point on, just let him keep doing what he's doing. Okay. And we'll be ready for next year.
Exactly.
Next February, next March, they'll start putting him in. Will we be part of the staff next year? I would almost bet on that. But we're not going to see him this year. And we don't need to see him because they know more than we know. And like you said, just the eyeball of a true fan sees he's having control problems. Yeah. You can't have control problems and come up to the major leagues.
No, it's just irrational. Speaking of who is part of our staff, every Saturday in the football season, we have the fantasy football segment. That's coming up next. Andy McNamara. He's been joining me now for 6 years, Mike Carlin, talking fantasy football. He'll be joining us coming up on the other side. The impact of the Micah Parsons trade on the NFL and fantasy football. That and more with Andy McNamara coming up next. Josh Hennig and Mike Carlin hanging out with you at yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle, and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Hey, South Jersey, this is Billy Schwein. Tune into the
Guys
Locker
are
Room
clear.
every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN. Each weekend in the Locker Room, you will get passionate sports talk from a fan's perspective, along with interviews with some of the biggest names in sports. That's every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon in the Locker Room with me, Billy Schwein, on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner.
Your go-to spot at the Jersey Shore to watch sports is also the Can't Miss Summertime Hangout for live music and great times in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora features The Yard, with an outside bar, TVs, and live music on stage every weekend. So bring your friends to cheer on your favorite team, watch the sunset on the back deck, and make new summer memories in The Yard. You can do it all at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to learn about upcoming events and specials all summer long at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora.
Wow, what's this? New shorts, new shirts, and new boots? Floyd, did you go to the Hub?
I did. They have all the summer clothes I need now that it's getting warmer.
Do they have anything for me?
They do. They've got women's shorts, shirts, boots, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia, Rocky, Ariat, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. And be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Ariat, and Grundens. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands that you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel for men and women, plus an incredible selection of boots for everyone. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone and That sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
The Kitchen Shop has a brand new home. They're now open at 6422 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, right next to the Inquisition Tattoo Shop, with a bigger showroom and more displays. They now offer full bathroom remodeling too, because your favorite kitchen remodelers just got even better. Celebrating 20 plus years in business with our Labor Day sale, 5% off all cabinets, plus an extra 5% off for military and first responders. Call 609-432-7647 or visit thekitchenshop.net. The Kitchen Shop, voted best of the press, gold.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed, all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with xFi Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Elevate your luxury experience at Matt Blatt Infinity. Lease the QX60 Lux for just $349 a month, or drive the commanding QX80 Sensory, just $799 a month. Matt Blatt Infinity is offering up to $15,000 off MSRP on select QX80 Sensory models with 0 down and no payments until October. Matt Blatt Infinity, where luxury lives and you belong. On approved credit, must have qualifying trade Infinity or other luxury brand. $1,666 per thousand. Offers not in combination through IFS. Lease rebate and dealer discount 36 months, 5,000 miles per year. First payment up to $12,360 dealer discount rebate to dealer plus tax $589 doc fee. Call 877-289-6670 or visit mattblatinfinity.com.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig hanging out with you at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN. As we are live in the yard, of course, we got Ohio State and Texas on the TVs over here. But right now, we're going to get back to the NFL talk because the huge trade this week is going to have ramifications on the entire NFL. And each week, we talk fantasy football with our guy. Andy McNamara is back for our fantasy football conversation. Every Saturday, me and Andy, of course, we've been talking for years on 97.3 ESPN about fantasy football. Andy, welcome back in. How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good, buddy. I got my Buckeye shirt on. Feeling good so far. Ohio State up 7-0. Arch Manning looking pretty ordinary to me. The golden boy. Not so hot right now.
No, he does not look as hot right now. Let's get to the football, though. I want to know from you. Let's start with the big news of the week. The ramifications of Micah Parsons. Because if I'm a fantasy football player, I'm worried because now Micah Parsons is in the same division twice a year playing Jared Goff. He's twice a year playing J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams. So for you as a fantasy football analyst, how do you look at the impact of Micah Parsons on those teams in the NFC North?
It can't be ignored. And he's one of the very few players. Myles Garrett's another one. TJ Watt's another one where a single player on defense can really change the conversation, right? Can really change that. And so for the Packers defense that was already good, now has the chance to take that next step up. And I think for maybe the younger quarterbacks could be more of a problem because they're more green. For Caleb Williams, for JJ McCarthy. I think Jared Goff has seen enough to probably be able to navigate that to a degree, but we know Parsons is a game wrecker, right? So it's definitely going to it's a knock against another knock against JJ McCarthy when they play each other twice a year.
You mentioned JJ McCarthy. We just had one of the guys here asking us about what he should do with his fantasy draft. We're going to get into the wide receivers in just a minute. You know, the JJ McCarthy thing, I think, is a huge part of the conversation for a guy like Justin Jefferson, because in years past, Justin Jefferson, when his quarterback was Kirk Cousins, it was like, Justin Jefferson all day long, right? Number one pick. Right. And even with Sam Darnold, you were like, you know what? I can still pick him. We have no idea what JJ McCarthy is going to be. The guy is coming off of a major surgery, and according to reports, he hasn't looked very good in camp, Andy. So guess what? We heard last year, Sam Darnold looked good in camp. JJ McCarthy, So how concerned are we about Justin Jefferson's value in fantasy football?
I think it takes a knock. He is so damn good, though. He's going to be able to overcome just with his talent alone. But you know what, Josh? I've said on your show and my show, I'm not a JJ McCarthy believer. Not at all. I think he is being grossly overrated, and people just assuming this guy's going to step in because it's a quarterback-friendly system in Minnesota. I think that should help, but he is far from a sure thing. Like, I see him more as, I've said it, I've seen more of him as Mac Jones than Kirk Cousins even. Like, there's nothing special to me about JJ McCarthy. Now, can a quarterback-friendly system help? I'm sure. Turn Sam Darnold from a total bust into getting a big contract. So there is hope. But Justin Jefferson, to me, that knocks him out. Personally, that knocks him out of my top 5 when it comes to drafting in fantasy football. He makes him probably 6, but I can't take a guy who has questions at quarterback that high.
Andy, you're absolutely. I don't know if you can hear me. You're absolutely right. I mean, I'm a Penn State fan, so a Big Ten fan. So McCarthy, I was watching him. He played the system. It doesn't mean he was a great quarterback. He played the system that was given to him. A lot of handoffs, a lot of right over the middle. He wasn't a deep thrower coming out of college.
Nope.
And he's proven it right now. And if I was his wide receiver, I'd be a little nervous to say, what can you do for me here? This is my game. I can't switch my game to your game. It's almost like you're the quarterback. You switch your game to what I'm good at.
Right.
So we'll see.
Well, and especially when you have a talent like Justin Jefferson, like you have to, like the Ohio State game right now with Jeremiah Smith, you have to find a way to get Jeremiah Smith the ball. You have to find a way to get Justin Jefferson the ball. And it might prove that JJ McCarthy is a better real life quarterback because of his system play than a fantasy option, but I'm doubtful on both.
Speaking with the wide receivers, of course, that's what part of our focus is today for our fantasy football segment with Andy McNamara. We did quarterbacks and running backs the last couple of weeks. Sticking with the wide receivers, I've been telling people, you got the number 1 overall pick in your draft, Jamar Chase, number 1, Andy. But Andy, who should be the number 2 pick?
Like at wide receiver or overall?
Overall,
got to be Bijan. And I know you're skeptical.
I am skeptical.
And listen, and when Josh Hennig says something, people, I listen. You know why? This guy called Sam Darnold last year. I thought you were nuts. I thought you were nuts for the whole summer. I said impossible. So it could be. But I think Bijan, because of the rarity of true bell cow number 1 running backs, it gets thin so quick. So if you go Jamar Chase, that's great. And he's going to be a stud. He got over 400 fantasy points last year. But the reason I will always go running back first is because I can layer my wide receivers later to not get individual Jamar Chase value, but get higher than I would get at the running back position later on. So like a Cortland Sutton, you have a later pick, like a CeeDee Lamb, like you go over, who else do we got here? Michael Pittman Jr. even later on, I think with Daniel Jones could bump up. So what I'm saying is you can make up and have a good to very good wide receiver core, but get that great running back. And that's where you can easier find wide receivers on the waiver wire too for bye week coverage than you can running backs.
So then with that being said, you just mentioned Bijan as a top running back. Well, what if Bijan in somebody's draft goes number 1? Is Jamar Chase the automatic number 2?
At that point, I personally would go Jahmyr Gibbs because of the same strategy.
Okay.
Again, not going to hate on anybody taking Jamar Chase 1, 2, or 3. Like you're going to have worse problems in your fantasy life. Right? That's a pretty good problem to have. But I would take Gibbs too because of that rarity again. And then Jamar Chase number 3. So I think if you're in that top 3 range in your fantasy draft, you're going to be in great shape no matter what.
Talking with Andy McNamara, fantasy football analyst, each week here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, at AndyMC81 on the X platform, at AndyMC Sports on Instagram. He is the host of the Sick Podcast. Like, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. All right, sticking with the wide receivers, right? So talk to me. So we talked about Chase. We talked about Jefferson. You mentioned CeeDee Lamb. There's a lot of questions about him because Dallas is going to have to basically outscore everybody now after the Micah Parsons trade.
Yep.
So does that elevate CeeDee Lamb's value, or does George Pickens diminish CeeDee Lamb's value?
I still think George Pickens is going to self-destruct on himself. Like he's
that's what we just talked about.
We literally just talked about that.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think, and you never know. Sometimes change of scenery works for guys, right? Like you look at Chris Carter back in the day. It works.
That's a good one.
But we at least have reason to believe things don't go so good for George Pickens, probably going to self-destruct. So I think with the fact that you're going to have to throw a lot more because the defense, you almost have to take a little bit of like a junior version of the Cincinnati Bengals there, whose defense is way worse than Dallas's anyway. But the Bengals are going to have to throw. There's room for the Bengals, fantasy-wise, for Jamar Chase to eat, for T. Higgins to eat, for Andre Yisevich to eat, everybody to eat, right? Because you have to score all these points. So I think for the Cowboys, similar situation, and I'm feeling that Dak Prescott could be a sneaky top 10, and maybe it is number 10, fantasy quarterback play, getting back to that level if he can stay healthy because of that fact. And I think, if you want to wait on a quarterback, Dak Prescott, CJ Stroud, those could be 2 guys you could wait later on and could provide top 10 value.
When you think about the top 10 value as well, I mentioned about the Cowboys having to score points. Another team that's scored a lot of points this year, Andy, you and I both know a lot of people are going to be curious about what a team like the Rams do. Stafford is a big question. Devontae Adams. No more Cooper Kupp with the Rams. Puka Nacua is still there. What is your take on those receivers?
The Matthew Stafford factor scares me because, and look, in any team, for the most part, if your starting quarterback goes down, you're hosed, right? Lamar Jackson goes down, Baltimore screwed. Joe Burrow goes down, Cincinnati screwed. Josh Allen, Buff, etc. You got Jimmy Garoppolo and Stetson Bennett the 4th. After that, not the 3rd. Don't worry, you got number 4 Bennett coming at you. So it gets ugly real quick. And the question is, even if Stafford, we've seen Stafford play through pain before, thumbs, backs, etc. How effective is he going to be? Will they have to lean on a Kyren Williams again, who I still think is being overlooked quite often because you got Blake Corum sort of sniffing around there and running back. But at this point in Devontae Adams' career, I'm wondering if we're at the tipping point of name recognition and production. That's where I'm starting to get a little nervous when it comes to Devontae Adams. So I'd put Adams and Puka probably in that next tier of wide receiver, but there's questions. I would say if you're going to draft them, could have great seasons, but you better try to back layer that with maybe it's a Brian Thomas Jr. beforehand, or an Xavier Leggett even with Coker going out in Carolina, and a Michael Pittman, like I said. Those type of guys are ones you might want to watch, even a Jerry Jeudy out of Cleveland.
So now thinking about the receivers, let's touch on tight ends before we let you go. All right. Tight end, obviously, a lot of people like myself, when we run out of running backs, when we run out of wide receivers, we go to tight end. Brock Bowers, TJ Hawkinson. Who do you like better and why?
Oh, Brock Bowers, 100%, because of the quarterback. And like, Geno Smith's a Hall of Famer, but do I trust Geno Smith with Pete Carroll over J.J. McCarthy? Hell yes. 100%. Because I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is going to do in the pros. I know what Geno Smith with Pete Carroll is going to do.
Right.
We've seen it. We know it. and it can be productive. Also, you have to look. I always say in fantasy football, opportunities equal success. Who's going to have more opportunities? Brock Bowers, who the top wide receiver in LA is Jacoby Myers, who's like a 3 and on a horrible New England team, and Ashton Giente. Those are your two guys. And with the Raiders, those are your playmakers. Compared to Minnesota, Adam Thielen coming back. What is he? Hawkinson himself, Justin Jefferson. Yeah, a couple other guys floating around, right? When Addison comes back, like there's and the running backs too. So there's a lot more mouths to feed with a questionable quarterback compared to Brock Bowers, who is pass catching option. He's the top guy. Like that's just how it's going to be. So there's no doubt. Got a sleeper or two for you too, if you want to hear about that.
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
So David Njoku of my Cleveland Browns. Reason being, I feel also like Kyle Pitts is sort of like the early stage of David Njoku's career. Talent coming out of everywhere, but inconsistent. The difference is David Njoku, I will use the word giddy with excitement with Joe Flacco. Because for the 5 games David Njoku played with Joe Flacco in 2023, best of David Njoku's career. He is attached at the hip with him, linking arms during national anthems, riding in golf carts with them. They are attached. David Njoku is a guy you can wait on, and he's right now typically around the 7th tight end taken. I would take him over Travis Kelce right now. I would take him over Evan Ingram. I would take him over Mark Andrews. Certainly Tyler Warren. And so David Njoku's right up there. Tucker Kraft with Green Bay, I think, is another strong option. Might fall into the Chicago Bears scenario of maybe too many mouths to feed and will he get enough targets, but Tucker Kraft has some upside as well.
All right, Andy McNamara, before we let you go, we'll get your radio live. We talked about it on the Wednesday night stream when we did our Fantasy Football League. How are you feeling about the 97.3 ESPN League this year? Of course, you won the league 2 years ago.
I did.
So last year,
Nick, for you? There you go.
Nick Earnshaw won it last year. So how do you feel now? Let the audience know as we are entering a 12-man league for the first time in several years in the league. We used to do 10 every year. Now we're at 12. So how does the fantasy football expert Andy McNamara feel about the league this year?
Overall about the league, I think it's going to be very competitive. I think we have a lot of interesting makeups of the different franchises. For mine, I feel I am strongest at running back, and I'm loving I took my own advice for strategy. I have Omarion Hampton of the Chargers, who I think in a run-heavy Harbaugh offense is going to be great. I got Bucky Irving of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have Tony Pollard, who No Ty Spears is going to be jumping up. So those are my top 3 guys there. Wide receiver, I'm pretty comfortable with. CeeDee Lamb, like I said, Cortland Sutton with another year with Bo Nix, I think is going to be really good. And Michael Pittman Jr. Tight end, Trey McBride. I probably reached a little bit on that, but there wasn't a player I liked equally at that point. I'm just a little concerned about my quarterbacks. My 2 are 2 I mentioned, CJ Stroud and Dak Prescott. I wanted Joe Burrow. I forget it was who stole him from me. I was coming up next and Joe Burrow was taken. Was it you, Josh? Did you get him?
I did not get Joe Burrow.
Somebody got Joe Burrow from me.
Someone got him.
And so I went with that sort of stack to see how it goes. I think CJ Stroud year 3 can make a jump back. I think Dak Prescott, for what we laid out, could. I'm a little nervous on the quarterbacks, but everything else I'm feeling pretty good at.
My quarterbacks ended up being Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray.
Scott Grayson got Joe Burrow. That's who got Joe Burrow.
Grayson. Got him. Yeah.
The voice of Nick Earnshaw back to the 97.3 ESPN studio. Nick is very determined to defend this championship, Andy. So
I'm ready to go, Andy. I can't wait. I can't wait for this year. Listen, I need to get one of those rings. I need one of those.
That's from Trophy Smack. You can order it on my X on Twitter at AndyMC. When you got a link right there. Boom.
Oh, I'm gonna be on that in a second.
Always shilling, gentlemen. You know how it goes.
Always at AndyMC81 on the Twitter X platform, at AndyMC Sports on Instagram, and of course he joins us each week. Talk fantasy football here on 97.3 ESPN. And don't forget the Sick Podcast. Like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcast. Andy, appreciate you jumping on, my man.
Oh, love it, guy. And hey, Michael Fabiano is on with me on the latest episode of the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara. So if you want more fantasy football advice, draft strategy, head over to YouTube, and it's on X at Sick Pod Browns at AndyMC81.
Perfect. Andy, appreciate you, man.
See you, boys. Bye-bye.
Josh Hennig hanging out at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora along with Mike Carlin, 97.3 ESPN. We have more trivia and giveaways coming up on the other side, plus Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. And also we'll get to more of your texts, 609-403-0973. Hanging with Hennig live for Labor Day weekend edition of the show. Outside, getting a suntan on my arms right now at yesterday's Creekside Tavern.
Turning red.
In Marmora. Also streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Sunday Night Baseball on
Eyes are clear.
Radio. It's a showdown in the National League East. It's gone! Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Atlanta Braves face Kyle Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies.
Gone! Over the bleachers and gone. Kyle Schwarber. Wow.
The Braves at the Phillies. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 Eastern, with first pitch at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to Sunday Night Baseball, Phillies Braves, on 97.3 ESPN.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
Matt Lenny's on 0 down, 0% for 60 months on Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. If you have a job, clear at $450 a week, you're virtually approved today. MattBlattNissan.com.
On approved Tier 1 credit through NMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25.
Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike.
This Labor Day, the Home Depot is here to help you prep for the season. So no matter what you're working on, you can get your backyard ready for all the fall festivities. Refresh your garden with savings on a wide selection of colorful mums. Liven up your outdoor space with vibrant string lights. And find the perfect grill for your backyard barbecues this season from our wide selection of grills under $300. Get your fall project started this Labor Day at the Home Depot.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Wow, what's this? New shorts, new shirts, and new boots? Floyd, did you go to the Hub?
I did. They have all the summer clothes I need now that it's getting warmer.
Do they have anything for me?
They do. They've got women's shorts, shirts, boots, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia, Rocky, Ariat, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. And be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Ariat, and Grundens. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands that you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel for men and women, plus an incredible selection of boots for everyone. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
It might help if I actually press that button. There we go. We are hanging out here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. So, again, we're going to have another showdown. So, let's get the next two contestants. Come on up. Let's see what we got here. All right, sir. So, you are playing for either the Eagles shirt or the Malibu beach chairs. So, sir, what is your name?
My name is Tim.
All right, Tim. So do you want an Eagles question or a Phillies question?
I'd like to go with the Eagles question.
All right. Someone says you're a Yankees fan. Is that true?
No, not at all. I'm from Westchester. I bleed green, baby.
There you go. All right. So because you bleed green, so you just made this question a little extra interesting now. So you may or may not know this. I'm assuming you do. But Donovan McNabb is the most passing touchdowns in Philadelphia Eagles history. Okay? Ron Jaworski is number 2. Tell me who has played in the last 25 to 30 years is after McNabb or Jaworski. We're keeping it in the 21st century. So who is on that list next from the last 25 years? Most touchdown passes in Eagles history.
Randall Cunningham
did not play in the last 25 years.
So is that out?
That is out. All right. So we'll go with the next guy here.
Now you got to hope if he's wrong, then you're back.
All right. So do you want an Eagles question or a Phillies question?
We'll go with the Phils.
What's your name?
Ian. I'm Ian.
Ian, welcome to the trivia contest. Here's the deal, Ian. In Philadelphia Phillies history, Zach Wheeler actually has the most strikeouts per 9 innings in Phillies history, with over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Name me a Philly in the last 25 years who is also on the strikeouts per 9 innings list.
Of, like, the list of how many? Or just, like...
The most all time. Most strikeouts per 9 innings. Phillies history, Zach Wheeler is number 1 with 10.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. What Philly in the 21st century, the last 25 years, is also on that list?
I'm going to go Cliff Lee's probably on there.
Cliff Lee is correct. He is number 4 with 8.8.
So you get the pick.
So do you want the shirt or the beach chair?
I'll take the shirt. I'll take the bird shirt.
All right. On the Eagles. So the Eagles question answer was Carson Wentz. So
who else was up there for the Phils?
Also on
Halladay.
Halladay is actually not on the top 5 list. You said Cliff Lee. Also on that list would be Aaron Nola. Actually, if we said Aaron Nola, we got that right as well. So, and what's your name again?
Ian.
Ian, congratulations.
Thank
so,
you very
Mike,
much.
you want to
if
you want to grab him the shirt. So, thank you for playing our trivia contest here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. So, all we have left is the beach chair. So, apparently, we gave away all the sports memorabilia already. So, Is it now? Let me ask you, Carlin, a question. Do we? like Carlin, if I can grab you here. So now that we gave away the Philly sports stuff, what do we do with these chairs?
One's mine.
Oh wow, he's already claiming one for his own. Look at this guy.
I'm joking. No, we have people coming up and they're already ready for the next trivia. And I was like, okay, you got to wait now for another hour.
Yeah, we'll do it the next hour, the next round.
She
of
wants
trivia.
an easy question, Josh. She
An
gave me
easy question.
she gave me a wink too. It was a woman gave me a wink like give me an easy question. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what an easy question means. Like what qualifies as an easy question?
What state did the Philadelphia Eagles play in? Okay,
Well, that's not a trivia question. That's more of like, are you dumb or not?
That's true.
It would be like, what state is Pittsburgh in?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't say Philly, if you don't say Pennsylvania, then you're probably not very smart. Like, that's all. By the way, speaking of the Eagles, Mike Carlin, did you know that Carson Wentz was the answer to that question?
I didn't know that. No. And Dave's shaking his head.
Someone said Nick Foles. Nick Foles is actually ninth on the list.
Our Pittsburgh guy shaking his head. He didn't know Dave either. Who?
Someone saying Michael Vick. Michael Vick is actually behind Foles. Foles is 58. Vick is 57. Jalen Hurts currently is 85. Jalen Hurts is, if he keeps playing the quarterback that he is playing, he is on pace to become only the sixth quarterback in Eagles history with over 100 passing touchdowns.
Who was under Carson Wentz? I can't read it from here.
So behind Wentz is Norm Snead. That's why I said the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Let's keep it to somebody who was, who played in the last 50 years. There are people literally here who were not alive when Norm Snead was the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Because the list goes like this: McNabb, Jaworski, Cunningham, then Wentz. Wentz played the last 25 years. Norm Snead, then Tommy Thompson, who was the quarterback when they won the 1948 NFL championship. Following him is then Jalen Hurts, Sonny Jurgensen, who played on the 1960 championship team, then Nick Foles, then Michael Vick. That's your top 10 passing touchdowns in Eagles franchise history.
Okay.
There you go.
We did it.
So, by the way, speaking of Carson Wentz, what do you think about Carson Wentz this year, Mike Carlin? Are you expecting big things? He's got another different offensive coordinator again this year.
He's just a backup. That's all he is.
Oh, is that all he is?
He's just a backup. Okay. If you're counting on Carson to do something, then you're in serious trouble. But, is he better than a lot of backups that we have out there on the league right now? Yeah. But we look at him because we know what he did for Philadelphia and what he didn't do. But outside of the state of Pennsylvania,
right,
there's people out there that actually think Carson Wentz is not bad. He's just in a bad situation. So, and I think that's why he keeps bouncing around. And remember, he had some good bouncing around.
And hanging out at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank and CIL, streaming live on YouTube and X. Of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Maplana Nissan makes car shopping fun.
Every clearly marked Nissan 0 down. 0% for 60 months.
Bring your old car to Maplana Nissan.
Because if you're stuck in a loan or lease, AJ the Trademan can get you released.
MaplanaNissan.com.
Unapproved Tier 1 credit through NMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into the vehicle plus tax tag and $589 fee. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit MattPlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25.
Matt Platt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike.
This Labor Day, the Home Depot is here to help you prep for the season. So no matter what you're working on, you can get your backyard ready for all the fall festivities. Refresh your garden with savings on a wide selection of colorful mums. Liven up your outdoor space with vibrant string lights. And find the perfect grill for your backyard barbecues this season from our wide selection of grills under $300. Get your fall project started this Labor Day at the Home Depot.
It's game time, New Jersey. The playbook for this season's action is on DraftKings Casino. Play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over $400 million has already been awarded. New players get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff over 10 days. Download the app, use code DK973, and claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older, physically present in New Jersey. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for featured game only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms and conditions at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends October 5th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Get away to the Atlantic City in Waterboat Show. 4 days only, September 4th to the 7th at the Golden Nugget Marina. Enjoy live entertainment and outdoor dining. Shop the Marine Mart. Buy $15 advance tickets at acinwaterboatshow.com.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, hanging out with you for the third hour of the show on 97.3 ESPN FM. There's no surprise to me that people are already arguing with me about the trivia questions, Mike Carlo. There's nothing.
People want these prizes, Josh.
People want these prizes.
They're fighting between breaks here.
Now,
people want help, and the guy that's going to be going up said, I can't help you. I want to take you down.
Yeah. I just want to verify something really quick. When I say the 21st century, that is the last 25 years.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter that Randall Cunningham played for the Eagles in 95. It's still the 20th century.
Yeah, exactly. I told him I'd buy him a beer. He's happy.
So we are hanging out with you. Of course, we'll get back into the Eagles talk in just a bit here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up a little bit later this hour, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press will join us as we are streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio here out in the yard. It's a beautiful day for Labor Day weekend here in South Jersey. And, of course, the best place to be to watch all your sports in South Jersey. The best sports bar is yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora, where Thursday night, when the Eagles play the Dallas Cowboys, Mike Carlin, that big TV, if you're watching on YouTube and X, you see it behind us, that will be on in a theater style. It'll be like, watching a game at like a drive-in theater meets a tailgate here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern for the Eagles game Thursday night. Eagles, Cowboys. This is going to be the place to be.
I'd get here early, too.
Hey, there's only so many chairs out there.
And they're taking reservations inside. If you don't have them, I'd be calling today.
Exactly. Speaking of the Eagles coming up against the Cowboys, we talked a little bit about Jalen Hurts heading into the break. I didn't want to neglect that conversation because it is very interesting that this young man has now had 10 different offensive coordinators between college and the NFL, from Alabama to Oklahoma to the Philadelphia Eagles. And yet he has still found a way to be successful.
Adapting. He's adapted every time.
Why do you think people then are so against him? I mean, how much of it? I feel like it has to be people just want to be right. Like people like, I didn't believe him all along, so he can't be good.
Well, they don't like his interviews. They don't like that he doesn't have a lot of fluff. You know what I mean? Like
no fluff.
You ask him a question, he thinks about it, he answers it, he moves on. That's not what people put. People want someone that's loud. People want to hear stuff that, oh my God, can you believe he said that? So they can use it against them or use it against somebody else. He's just very down to earth. I'm here to do a job. I'm doing my job, and that's it. And he's not going to change. Doesn't matter. He could win another Super Bowl. He's not changing who he is, and that's how he was. They said in high school. That's how he is in major school like Alabama. I mean, they do press before and after every game. That's how he was down in Alabama. He's not changing his way just because we as fans want him to change. So it's taken as he is, and that's it.
I think that what you said is important because it's the idea that they want you to say something so then they can use it against you later. So really at the end of the day is you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And that's the problem with a lot of these Hurts conversations. And that is there's no objectivity to these conversations. It's just people vomiting their feelings about a player who's doing something that they can, like Cam Newton and all of his complaining. Cam Newton never won a championship.
Correct.
So now he has the opportunity because of the platform that he's on to complain about this guy in Jalen Hurts. He has an opportunity to turn this into well, see, I did something that he didn't. Well, guess what, Cam? You weren't able to do it for that long because the problem with Cam Newton is that he never evolved to the point you used was Hurts. He never grew. He never developed. He only got to a certain point. He stopped. He thought he was the you-know-what, and then he regressed. Jalen Hurts has been forced to evolve. Remember, he was a dual-threat quarterback coming out of high school. When he transferred to Oklahoma, he became a passing quarterback. He was top 5 all of college football that year in passing yards, completion percentage, and then he was number 2 in the Heisman Trophy race. Comes to the NFL. He goes from Doug Peterson to Nick Sirianni to Shane Steichen to Brian Johnson to Kellen Moore and now Kevin Matullo. And he constantly evolves. He constantly grows. His mindset is in the right place. He is everything you want your quarterback to be, but yet the people who want to complain about him, Mike, they're just jealous.
They're jealous. That's the key word. That's what I was going to say. They're just jealous. Listen, whether it's Cam Newton, I'm not going to get into name them, but they all have now their own podcasts.
Yep.
Some of them are on national television. Don't get me wrong. They've made it to the top. But it's almost like reality TV. If you want to stay on reality TV on all those housewife shows and stuff, what do you got to turn into?
Right.
You got to turn into a nutcase. Because the nutcase has people watching the show. Okay. It's the same philosophy with these guys. They want to be, they were out of the league now for maybe 5, 10, 15 years, and they still have the itch, like they still think they're it. So how do I got to be people talking about me and reading about me? I got to say some stupid stuff out there maybe. And that's how those guys are. The stupider they say things, the more they're more on TV, the more marketing to get. Big picture, the more money they're making.
Oh, and that's the other problem. And that is, we live in a culture now where people are rewarded for being stupid. They're rewarded for being flamboyant and flashy. Quality is not the apex anymore. And, there's only so much you can do about that. There's only so much you can do about a situation where when you are the Eagles, your focus is on winning. So you can't worry about what the media says. Like I was watching the quarterback show on Netflix.
Yeah.
And one of the things they talk about on the show is as a quarterback, you got to tune out the media. And the wives of the quarterbacks,
Do you see the difference of the wives? Like the difference of Kirk Cousins' wife and the difference of Patrick Mahomes' wife?
Right.
Night and day.
Right. But Kirk Cousins' wife is sitting there saying, it hurts me when they talk negative about my husband. And same with Jared Goff's wife. She says, it hurts me when they say these things. But then the quarterback's like, yeah, I don't even listen. I don't have the time for it. And so when Jalen Hurts turns around and says, I don't pay attention to the media, I only know what they tell me, I don't think he's lying at all.
Oh,
I
he's
think
not
he's
lying.
100% true.
Yeah.
I think that he is telling you that, hey, man, I'm not paying attention to that horse manure. I'm focusing on my job. And guess what? I'm glad he does. Because guess what? If Jalen Hurts listened to what everyone had said about him over the years, he probably need to see a therapist.
Yeah. Or it gets in his head to be like, oh my God, I never really thought about it. I've had all these offensive coordinators, different boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
But I'm still doing my job. But what happens if I don't do my job?
Right.
That gets all in their head. It's perfect for him.
Exactly.
He shouldn't be listening. I think the good guys don't listen. The bad guys do listen. Well, it's that simple.
And it's funny because I think part of the reason why Wentz failed in Philadelphia is because he did not have the ability to evolve.
And think about where he was coming from.
He came from a very sheltered environment.
Yeah, a sheltered environment, sheltered state, the team. You think their press conferences were like guys coming out of Georgia, Alabama, Penn State? No. Okay. You think they were following you to your car, still asking you questions when the press conference is over? No. He had a very easy life. He comes into this and it's like, oh my God, what did I just walk into? I had one bad game, but the world's not coming to an end. Well, guess what? Here in Philadelphia, the world is coming to an end if you have a bad game.
Right. Josh Hennig hanging out with Mike Carlin here on 97.3 ESPN, hanging with Hennig live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Of course, we got a lot more to get to. Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press, he will join us coming up at 2:25 today on the show. I want to ask you, Carlin, you know, you're wearing a Penn State shirt, so I would be neglectful not mentioning college football today. Last time I saw Ohio State was up 7-0 over Texas in the big
very quiet game. I'm hearing
in the big showdown today. Well, you know, I picked under 47.5. You know,
that's in the bag.
You know, I try to help people out. They don't always want to listen. You know, nothing I can do about that. But you're wearing loud and proud the Penn State outfit over here. So tell me how you feel about Penn State this year. You excited?
Very excited, and I've been very excited before. But with this team, I will go on the record to tell you, if this isn't the year, then the year's not coming. They are strong at literally every position that needs to be in. They have an offensive line. They have a quarterback that knows the system. Right. They got a wide receiver. They have the two best running backs probably together in the country. Okay, Singleton is one of the best, and his backup that comes in is just a little off. But if you put two together, they're better than anybody in the country. Their defense, I think at 9 out of 11 guys are coming back. I mean, this is it. And with their schedule, Josh, that's the biggest thing. And even though I'm a Penn State fan, I'm the first one to say I don't enjoy watching like the first game today against Nevada, next week against FIU, the next week we're playing Villanova. Those days got to stop, Josh. Okay, they literally got to stop. And I love what I saw what SEC announced this week, where you're going to have your 9-game schedule now, another SEC team you got to play. And then on top of that, on one of the 2 or 3 games that you're going to have extra, you're going to have to play someone in the Power 5.
Right.
Okay. And you saw, like, I think it was Alabama or someone big, Georgia, just had to take West Virginia off their schedule. West Virginia is a really good team. Okay. That's not like taking Villanova off or Nevada off.
Or FIU.
Or FIU. I mean, I'm a huge Penn State fan, but the days of playing these 3, and then whoever does their scheduling is unbelievable. He should get all the kudos in the world. They get a week off before they actually open the Big Ten against Oregon. Again at home. They don't travel until the middle of October.
Yeah.
But to get back to, I think Penn State will be right there at the end. I think actually the quarterback should be up for the Heisman Trophy if they are.
Allard.
Okay. And if Arch Manning doesn't come out as the number 1 pick, which a lot of talk is saying he's not, he's going to come back for another year no matter what happens. You're looking at maybe him being the number 1 pick, or the guy from Clemson, what's his name, Cade
Klubnik.
Yeah. I mean, that could be your number 1 pick or number 2 pick right there. But Penn State, for the schedule that they have, for the teams that they have to play at home, and the way, if this isn't it, I'm done thinking they have a chance. Everything is aligned for them to win this year.
Listen, if they don't win, okay, I'll put it this way. They get to the college football championship game, then I think Franklin is safe.
Yeah.
But I think that if they don't make a real run in the postseason, they are
serious going to be thinking about it.
You have to have a conversation about James Franklin because, what people don't talk about, the other thing with Penn State this year is that the defensive coordinator last year left, Tom Allen. And for those who are wondering why that's relevant, it's relevant because Tom Allen was a very, very good coach. A former head coach of Indiana. He's one of the better defensive coaches in all of college football. Why was Penn State unable to keep a guy of that caliber? And now he's at Clemson, by the way, for those who don't know. He went to Clemson. He's now coaching their defense. And watch Clemson's defense have a good year. Why is James Franklin so great at recruiting guys, but when it comes to the game day of winning, he's not always delivering? And I think that's the thing in college football now. It's not about just recruiting anymore. You have to execute on the field. And I think that is where people are getting mixed up because they're so worried about the transfer portal. They're so worried about, Can I get this kid to stay in state and come to my school? Can I get the booster, keep the booster happy by getting the kid from his high school? They're so worried about those things, Mike Carlin, but they're not worried about the ultimate thing that's going to keep them their job, which is winning the game. Because at the end of the day, if you win the game, all that other stuff goes away. That other stuff only becomes front and center when you are an individual like James Franklin, who has only 2 wins all time against Ohio State and Michigan?
Correct. And he's like 1 in 11 against teams that are like in the top 10,
right?
When they play him. But you know what they're not good at? They're very good at getting the 4 and the 5-star athletes. Okay, but they're not good at. I mean, I'm watching games Colorado last night.
Yep.
Okay, and before that, I was watching the Boise play. I was watching the top game. It's amazing how many times you hear about a walk-on that now is in his junior year and he's starting for this team. Was never recruited. Not one Division I. He walks onto this thing. When was the last time you heard of a Penn State guy that they just developed? And by the time he's a junior or senior, he's on the field. It's always guys that are 4 or 5 stars, and then we hope that they take us to the next level, and they don't. I would love to see them bring in a guy who's just driven to the point where I'm going to give everything I have to give every day at practice, and then he makes his way, and all of a sudden now he's on the field playing.
And I think that's part of the reason why I think Penn State is – I do think they'll make a deep playoff run. I just don't think they're going to win the championship because they're going to run into a team that has more of the players that you described. Guys who were developed, guys who were grown, guys who were put together to make a team.
And they're on teams. If you look at Alabama, Georgia, like the top teams, Florida State's, Clemson, there's always 1 or 2 guys that the announcers will be talking about saying, he was a walk-on.
Right.
3 years ago. Now he's starting.
Well, here's the problem with what you just said, though. Just not to interrupt you. Mike Carlin joining me, Josh Hennig, hanging out with you live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, the best sports bar in South Jersey. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Just follow at Josh Hennig. I think you're going to need to start taking Alabama off that list.
Yeah.
I think Kellen DeBoer was not the right hire at Alabama.
We'll see this year.
I said it last week.
At the end of this week.
He was not the right man for that job. They lost a lot of guys defensively. This was not a reload like teams in past years. Teams in the past for Alabama, they just reload. Not so much this year. And now...
Is that a Nick thing, or you're saying it's not a Nick thing?
It's a Nick Saban thing. Nick Saban was great at that.
He was reloading.
Nick Saban was relentless.
Yep.
Kellen DeBoer, I think he's happy to have the job. And that's the difference. When you have a guy who's happy to have the job versus a guy who's just there. You know what I mean? The guy who's there for winning or the guy who's there because he's at Alabama. There's 2 different people. And that's why I don't know if Florida State's going to win the game today, but I picked Florida State to cover the 14 points over at Caesars Sportsbook because of the fact that
they're playing the LSU. Who's
Florida State?
Who's Florida State playing?
Alabama.
Alabama. I'm sorry.
But they're at Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State's a 14-point underdog. Florida State's got a new quarterback in Tommy Castellanos. He's a perfect fit for Gus Malzahn. You remember where Gus Malzahn used to coach?
Go ahead.
Auburn.
Ooh.
He was a problem for Alabama for years there. And now they fired him because he couldn't win a national championship, but he could beat Alabama, which is funny. You don't think he wants to stick it to his old rival?
Absolutely.
You don't think he's looking at this young quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, a perfect fit for his system and being like, we're going to run all over you. You did not reload defensively. Alabama's going to have a tough game today. And you are going to see an Alabama team that is going to be heavily favored in a lot of games. They are not going to be able to hold on to that favorite
So you think Florida State will cover that spread?
I do.
Okay. Good for you.
Again,
we are allowed to disagree.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Alabama, I think that coach knows that this is the year we got to show we're Alabama. Okay. Because if not, he's going to be gone.
Well, I hope for
think
Kellen DeBoer's sake.
And I don't care about I'm not an Alabama fan, don't get me wrong. But one last thing on Penn State.
Yeah.
When we talked about Franklin. Remember, Franklin's got 8 years left on his contract. $10 million a year.
That's crazy.
You want to know one thing Penn State doesn't do? Administration?
Buyouts.
They don't do buyouts.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, unless he did something, unless they lost 4 or 5 games, 6 games.
Right.
Then maybe. But they're not paying him 10. They're not going to pay him $70 million.
I just want to verify. I'm not wishing anybody to lose their job.
No.
I'm just saying that there's a perception of this team, and if they don't reach those expectations,
yeah.
things.
And if we get back to college before we leave, if I gave the listeners 2 teams to really look out for?
Yep. We'll do that later in the show. Absolutely.
Great.
Coming up on the other side, though, we got Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press. He will join us to talk about the Micah Parsons trade. He talked to Micah Parsons after he was traded. And now, are the Eagles still the best in the NFC, or are the Packers even with them now? Well, that's Rob Maaddi that coming up next. Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN.
You guys are clear.
It's a showdown in the National League East.
It's gone!
Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Atlanta Braves face Kyle Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies.
Gone! Over the bleachers and gone. Kyle Schwarber. Wow.
The Braves at the Phillies. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 Eastern, with first pitch at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to Sunday Night Baseball, Phillies Braves on 97.3 ESPN.
Your go-to spot at the Jersey Shore to watch sports is also the Can't Miss Summertime Hangout for live music and great times in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora features The Yard, with an outside bar, TVs, and live music on stage every weekend. So bring your friends to cheer on your favorite team, watch the sunset on the back deck, and make new summer memories in The Yard. You can do it all at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to learn about upcoming events and specials all summer long at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels of Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, clemicperformancemethod.com.
Matt Lenny on 0 down, 0% for 60 months on Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. If you have a job, clear $450 a week, you're virtually approved today. MattBlackNissan.com.
On approved Tier 1 credit through NMAC, negative equity will be refinanced into the vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit MattBlackNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25.
Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
For the entire month of August, power up your weekends with the Red Tag Clearance Event at Whitehorse RV Center. Take advantage and score bottom dollar pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Whitehorse RV has them all in stock. These vehicles are perfect for tailgating, road trips, and getting away on your terms. There's no games at Whitehorse RV and no pressure. Just real savings on RVs built for freedom and fun. Don't wait. These Red Tag deals won't last. 2 locations to serve you in Williamstown and Galloway. Whitehorse RV Center. Your RV adventure starts here.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Sail on in to Hutch's Marina on the Cape May Harbor, your full-service marina located at the east end of the Cape May Canal. Hutch's Marina has factory-trained mechanics to keep your boat in top running water. Dock overnight for the entire season at Hutch's Marina. Need gear or breakfast before your fishing trip? Visit the tackle shop. Hutch's Marina is family-owned and operated for over 60 years. Visit CapeMayHarbor.com. That's CapeMayHarbor.com for more information.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant, the place to go for seafood, all-you-can-eat crabs, and amazing sunsets, is also the spot to host your fantasy football draft with Yuri's Draft Party Package. Choose from catering-sized platters of jumbo wings, buff tenders, crab balls, coconut shrimp, mozzarella sticks, plus fries, chips, pretzels, happy hour drink prices, draft kit, and swag, just $190. Book your draft party now and plan to watch the game at Yuri's with the NFL ticket and game day specials. Yuri's next to the Boathouse Restaurant at the foot of the bridge in Wildwood.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back, and I want David Putnam.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All my picks back, and I want David Putnam just because I feel like it. You're out of your mind. Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig hanging out with you live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN, along with Mike Carlin. Of course, we have the best sports bar in South Jersey. Oh, Ohio State, by the way, an interception. Not a good day for Arch Manning. I turned the wrong microphone on. It's bad. Yeah. For those who don't know, we're in a very interesting spot because, like, the stage at yesterday's is like half covering us and half not if you're watching on the stream. So, like, I'm trying to keep the equipment, like, under the underhang.
It's like the shadows in baseball.
Oh, this is worse than the shadows. I would
they're taking over home plate right now.
I'm like half in the light, half not. But going back to the phone lines as we got our next guest, as promised, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press. He is joining us as the aftermath of the Micah Parsons trade. It is the talk of all of the NFL, and he joins us right near on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, welcome in. How you doing, my friend?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing good. So, you know, the Micah Parsons trade, that's obviously the biggest story going on right now. You know, talk to us about the ramifications of that deal, Rob, because I know you got a chance to touch base with Micah after the trade. I think for a lot of people, they kept hearing Jerry saying he was not going to make the trade, and this was a shocking move for the NFL. But it seems like, you know, Micah got his wish, right?
Yeah, Micah wanted to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL, and that's what he was going to get. And I believe the Cowboys were probably going to do that when they talked about the contract, and except they had offered a 5-year deal as opposed to a 4-year deal. But they just couldn't get to an agreement, and I think this was Jerry was being stubborn. There were some things that I don't think Jerry Jones liked, some philosophical things happening there, and obviously trying to negotiate a deal directly with a player is odd. And although he's done that in the past, you've got to involve the agent, and Jerry Jones didn't want to do that, and I think he thought that he had an agreement with Micah. And because Micah wanted to involve his agent to finalize or complete it, I think that rubbed Jerry Jones the wrong way. And, you know, I hear a lot of people calling Jerry Jones stupid. This is a blunder. This is that. Jerry Jones is not a stupid man. He's a self-made billionaire. So you got to be extremely smart to get to where he is. He's stubborn. He's not stupid. So I think it was ultimately just a power struggle that two very strong-minded individuals couldn't come together on this. And then you take a step back, you know, after the initial shock wears off and everybody is jumping all over the Cowboys. How can they trade this great generational player? And, you know, I I know Micah pretty well, and I think he is on a path to Canton to be a Hall of Famer. But he's 4 years into his career, and he's obviously got to play a whole lot more to be able to get that gold jacket. You can see from, or I don't know many people out there, but I can understand from Jerry Jones' perspective the reluctance to pay one player $47 million when you've had that player on your roster for 4 years and you've only won one playoff game. So, and Micah in those 4 playoff games had 1 sack, and that was against Tom Brady, and he didn't have any in the others. But that's not the only measurable. Obviously, you look at him creating opportunities for other players, et cetera. So I'm not bashing Micah for that. I'm just saying from Jerry Jones' perspective, you can – or I can at least understand the hesitancy to want to pay someone $47 million when you already haven't won with him. Why not try and build for the future with more draft picks? Now, of course, the Green Bay Packers picks are going to most likely be in the 20s, maybe late 20s, maybe even 30, 31, or 32 if they get to the Super Bowl. So it's one of those trades where on the surface, everybody's like, it makes no sense. The Cowboys got snookered. How can they trade away this amazing and incredible player? And then I start to look at it and go, this could be one of those rare opportunities where you see a blockbuster trade end up being a win-win for both sides. The Cowboys, the Packers can go on and win a championship with Micah Parsons this year, next year, the year after that, whenever it may be. And the Cowboys could parlay those 2 first-round picks and that cap space into something that helps lay the foundation for their future.
Rob, it's Mike. So when I'm thinking about what you just said with the quarterback and everything you said, I'm with you on everything. What do you think their thinking was when you say we didn't want to pay him the 46, whatever it was, million a year for if he would have been the best player on defense on that team when we just turned around last year when we played our quarterback, the best, and forget the team, they're mostly paid for the whole league as a starting quarterback. Did that have something to do with it? Because we didn't win anything with, if you're a Dallas fan, what did they win with him? And they did it, but they didn't want to do it with the defensive guy. I think it came down to how you started the conversation. That I think Jerry was literally just pissed off that Micah was trying to make him look like, hey, we had an agreement. We shook hands. I'm old school. I thought we had an agreement. And now you're telling me I got to talk to agents and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the only reason why this didn't go through is I think he thought Jerry thought that Micah was trying to make him look bad in the big picture, and it just wasn't going to happen. And it was like Jerry said, you know what, you can move on. And I could be completely wrong, but what do you think?
Well, I do think that there was a lot of ego involved, and that's certainly part of it there because Jerry has alluded to and said this on it might have been Michael Irvin's podcast or whoever it was with, how he had a handshake agreement with Bum Bright to buy the Cowboys, and if he can have a handshake agreement to buy the team, he can have a handshake agreement with Micah for something like this. It certainly rubbed him the wrong way, and I think it kind of made him feel that he didn't trust Micah Parsons after that, and Jerry needs people that he can trust in his inner circle. You mentioned Dak Prescott and paying him more than anybody has ever been paid in the history of the NFL, and Jerry Jones has mentioned that more than once. How we've paid. He said we've paid our quarterback, and I think he's mentioned it in a way, not that he's regretful, but as a reminder that we're willing to pay top dollar. We've paid that amount, and we won nothing for it. He mentioned how Dak was hurt last year. He mentioned and got wrong the amount of games that Micah Parsons missed last year. So he's certainly very well aware that I can sign somebody to $60 million and have him play 8 games, and I can sign Micah to $47 million, and he's one injury away from. And that's the case with everybody. But I think that kind of factored into it to where, like, after all of the feelings and after all of the ego and everything else involved, as that starts to make you reevaluate the position you're taking, and I think it started to make Jerry feel like, hey, there are other options here, and that could be cap space to allow us to have 3 or 4 players within that $47 million that he's going to get command annually, and it's going to give us the opportunity to select or use those picks to parlay them to move up to get potential all-pros. Now, the other side is going to argue, and I've heard it being argued vehemently from all the hot takers and everyone else out there who has to have an instant reaction and tell you if a trade is great or not. And they're saying that, well, he's trading an all-pro and hoping to get an all-pro. Correct. Obviously, we understand that. But he hasn't won with the all-pro that he has, and he's trying to resolve the situation. So I'm not bashing Jerry Jones over this like most everybody else is. I understand Micah is one of the greatest players in our generation, and he's probably going to go down as a top 5, could be a top 5, top 10 defensive player of all time. But I still think that there's an opportunity where the Cowboys can be better for it. And that's I'm not even mentioning what he's talking about with against the run. And yes, against the run with Micah, they were no better than 16th. They were 29th last year. They were 22nd one year, 16 and 16 2 other years. Is there a case to be made? We'll find out week 1, and if Kenny Clark can help them stuff Saquon Barkley and keep him under 100 yards. But I don't think they're a better team in 2025 because they don't have Micah Parsons. That's just foolish. But can they be a better team in 26, 27, 28? I'm not ready to say they're not going to be.
We're talking with Rob Maaddi, senior NFL insider for the Associated Press, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN, hanging with Hennig live from yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So now that Micah is on the Packers, okay, the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, Rob Maaddi, are the Packers the biggest threat to the Eagles now in the NFC?
From an Eagles standpoint, I think you have to hate this trade. I know Eagles fans hate the Cowboys, and they love to see the Cowboys slip even further down in the NFC. But I didn't fear if I was an Eagles fan, I wouldn't have feared the Cowboys with Micah. And now, however, a Packers team that made the playoffs last year, that faced the Eagles in the playoffs last year, that had some injury issues, including the quarterback, Jordan Love, got significantly better. So from an Eagles standpoint, I think you got to hate this trade because they made a NFC rival, forget about division, but and it's all about winning Super Bowls. It's all about going to the Super Bowl. So you got to get out of the East, and it made the Packers that much better. Are the Packers the team to beat even in their own division, though? Right now with Micah, I'm not ready to say that. I still think it's the Lions who won 15 games last year. Sure, they got 2 new coordinators, but they're getting Aiden Hutchinson back. Think about that, right? The Packers are adding Micah Parsons. The Lions are getting Aiden Hutchinson back from injury last year. It's almost a wash. And then the Lions were a better football team last year. Now, both teams, they got a difficult schedule. It's a brutal division. Vikings are right there. Bears should be improved. I don't think 2 teams are going to end up with 14 and 15 wins like we saw last year in the NFC North. So I made my picks yesterday. I had the Packers in the playoffs. I didn't have them winning the North, and I don't have them going to the NFC title game.
Rob, when you think about, the Packers moving forward, obviously Micah Parsons is the big thing, but for a team like the Eagles, they drafted their best player, right? Jalen Carter, whereas the Packers had to go out and acquire Micah Parsons. Jalen Carter is going to have to get a big contract now, and looking around what the league is paying all these other guys, what do you think Jalen Carter now is going to get paid? I mean, Mike is getting, an AAV of $47 million. What is Jalen Carter going to be worth?
Yeah, it's a great question. He's going to have to get paid, and how he's going to have to certainly figure that out. He's currently obviously on his rookie deal, and the Eagles are, fortunate that they have a superstar caliber player at that age and playing on a rookie deal. But eventually, you're going to have to pay him, and he's going to become the highest paid interior defensive lineman in NFL history. I think that's where that's trending. And It just depends on who signs when and who beats you to it, or how long they want to wait, and all of that stuff. But they're going to have to pay Jalen Carter, and that's what happens when you pay your quarterback. You hope that you can build around that quarterback while he's still on a rookie contract. Obviously, Jalen's beyond that and getting $50+ million. And now the other pieces, as they develop, you're going to have to pay them. And this is where a little bit of the Jerry Jones reluctance, like not wanting to have three players take up 2/3 of his salary cap: CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons. The Eagles are going to have to make that decision with Jalen Carter. You're certainly not going to let him go, but you'd be foolish to think giving one player $38 million, $40 million, whatever it may be, isn't going to impact the makeup of the rest of the roster. It is, and it's going to force you to have to draft well, develop well, and have younger players at other key positions, because you're going to have a significant chunk of the cap going to Jalen Carter. You already have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson, and it's Landon Dickerson's is getting paid, and Jordan Mailata. Like, there's a lot of guys, and Howie is, fortunately for Eagles fans, they have probably the best in the NFL handling that business in Howie Roseman.
It's Mike. I want to follow up on what you just said about Howie. We were talking about earlier how the cap hit for Zach with Dallas, his overall cap hit is more than if you combine Hurts, Brown, and Barkley all together with the Eagles. That had to have something to do. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. We have three prominent Eagles, top Eagles, all together are making less than what one guy is for Dallas. And I mean, that just tells you what kind of person Howie is and what kind of organization he's running compared to Dallas. Dallas probably couldn't do it. They didn't have the money, like you said, for Parsons in the big picture of what they've done in the past.
Yeah, Howie's established himself, and deservedly so, as long ago a cap guru. That's what happened. That's how he actually got his in. I mean, this is a guy who started as an intern. I've chronicled his story over the years, from when he was losing money by taking the train from New York, where he lived. It was costing him, like, he was an intern, so he would take a train to Philly to the vet and all of that, to work his way up from that guy to being a salary cap guru to now a personnel boss who is the best in the business at negotiating deals, at making trades, at navigating the salary cap, at doing things like you just outlined, how Jalen, AJ, and Saquon's cap number combined is less than Dak's. It takes some ingenuity to be able to pull that off, and the Eagles are certainly fortunate to have Howie Roseman doing that. And this is a guy who has had his ups and downs. We all know he's had some draft misses, colossal ones, and he's had some incredible draft hits. Up and down from 1st through 7 rounds, that is, and been able to help build this team and allow them to sustain the success. And if you were going to choose one executive in the NFL, we don't have an executive of the year. There's not an official executive of the year award. Some different outlets do give that out. I think Howie would be a front runner each and every year.
He's Rob Maaddi, senior NFL insider for the Associated Press, and he joined us right here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN as the countdown is on. Less than a week for Eagles Cowboys on Thursday night, opening night. At Rob Maaddi on the Twitter X platform, and of course check out Faith of the Field, heard Saturday and Sunday mornings right here on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, I appreciate you carving out some time for us today. Enjoy the weekend, my friend.
You got it, Josh. Take care, guys. Keep up the great work.
Josh Hennig along with Mike Carlin here at the yard at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, and of course streaming live on YouTube and next in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Coming up on the other side, we have our final round of trivia we will get to, as we still have the 2 Malibu chairs to give away, which means we're going to have 2 winners coming up. So if you want to win these beach chairs, this is your chance coming up on the other side here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. on 97.3 ESPN.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
The Kitchen Shop has a brand new home. They're now open at 6422 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, right next to the Inquisition Tattoo Shop, with a bigger showroom and more displays. They now offer full bathroom remodeling too, because your favorite kitchen remodelers just got even better. Celebrating 20+ years in business with our Labor Day sale, 5% off all cabinets, plus an extra 5% off for military and first responders. Call 609-432-7647 or visit thekitchenshop.net. The Kitchen Shop, voted Best of the Press Gold.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
Matt Blatt Nissan makes car shopping fun. You can get a new car today.
That's right, girls. And every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Nissan can be yours with 0 down and 0% financing for 60 months.
Bring your old car to Matt Blatt Nissan. They really want your trade.
Right again, girls. Because if you're stuck in a loan or lease, AJ the trade man can get you released.
If you have a job, clear $450 a week, you're virtually approved today. Plus, every new Matt Blatt Nissan comes with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy. 0 down, 0% for 60 months on Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. MattBlattNissan.com.
On approved Tier 1 credit through NMAC, negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers cannot be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or visit MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends September 6, 25.
It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Wow, what's this? New shorts, new shirts, and new boots? Floyd, did you go to the Hub?
I did. They have all the summer clothes I need now that it's getting warmer.
Do they have anything for me?
They do. They've got women's shorts, shirts, boots, and more. It's about time you go to the Hub.
Is it time to get a new pair of work boots? Then it's time to get to the Hub. Let their friendly staff help you pick out a pair of comfortable, rugged, and waterproof boots. The Hub offers a complete selection of boots from Wolverine, Carolina, Georgia, Rocky, Ariat, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro. And be sure to check out their line of clothing from Dickies, Carhartt, Ariat, and Grundens. Get to the Hub, specializing in outdoor gear from brands that you know and trust. Visit the Hub inside the Summers Point Shopping Center or on Route 40 inside the Mays Landing Diner Shopping Center. Whether you're regular, big, or tall, the Hub fits them all. Here today, here to stay. Also online at summerspointhub.com. No matter what the season, the Hub's got you covered. They have a full line of apparel for men and women, plus an incredible selection of boots for everyone. Come and check out the Hub in Summers Point or Mays Landing.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Who is right? You are an ox and a moron.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Hello? Get back in the room.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig live here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Our final round of trivia here on 97.3 ESPN. So earlier we gave away the Philly City Connect hat in the first hour. Second hour we gave away the Eagles shirt. Now we're down to the 2 Malibu Beach chairs, and Mike Carlin has confirmed he is not stealing one for himself. So we are now going to play trivia. So first, let's go to, sir, your name for the radio folks.
David.
All right, David. So do you want an Eagles question or a Phillies question?
Phillies.
All right. All right, we're going to go Phillies here. We are going to go with hitting as a question here. No cursing on the radio over there. We are live on the radio. Watch your mouth. So Mike Schmidt has the best wins above replacement of any Phillies player of all time, obviously. But who is number 2? So Mike Schmidt has the highest wins above replacement WAR of any player in Phillies history. That's obvious. But who is number 2 on that list? Again, the theme we've been going with is 21st century. This is in the last 25 years. So I'm not asking you about Ed Delante, okay, from 1885. And I'm not asking you about Chuck Klein from 1931. This player who is number 2 on the list is in the last 25 years, David.
Roland.
Roland or Rollins?
Rollins. Excuse me.
Well, it's okay. They're both wrong. So the answer to that one was Chase Utley. Chase Utley actually has a 62 wins above replacement. Jimmy Rollins only at 47. All right. So now we have a chance for the chair to go to, ma'am, what's your name for the radio audience?
Teresa Rach.
All right. So do you want an Eagles question or a Phillies question?
I want the easy question. So I'm going to go with the Eagles.
I don't know if that makes it an easy question, but sure. Okay. Yeah, no help from the audience, please, okay? All right. So Eagles question, we are going to go with this.
Okay.
Donovan McNabb has the most wins in Eagles franchise history. Number 2 is Ron Jaworski. Number 3 is Randall Cunningham. Number 4 is this quarterback who has played for the Eagles in the last 25 years.
So this is a quarterback question. Can I clarify that?
How do you want me to clarify it?
Are you telling me to pick the quarterback?
I need you to name the quarterback
okay,
who has the most wins as the Eagles in the last 25 years.
Oh, I think it's Jalen Hurts.
That is correct. Which is hilarious because for the audience that are listening on radio or on the stream, someone said Carson Wentz. That would have been absolutely wrong.
I don't listen to the audience. No, I am in my mind.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So you got one of the chairs. Hand it off to the next contestant. Let's not slam the headset down. These are expensive things. All right. So you grab the chair. We got to get one more trivia question in. All right. And, sir, what is your name again for the radio audience?
Tim.
All right, Tim, you want a Phillies question or an Eagles question?
Let's go with the Birds.
All right, we'll go with the Birds. I'm just not going to do quarterbacks again because that's getting getting ugly. That was getting a little too easy. But what do I know? All right, so LaShawn McCoy has the most rushing yards in Philadelphia Eagles history, right? We know Wilbur Montgomery is number 2, not just because of the guy in the back said it out loud and gave away the answer. I need you to tell me who the next 2 Eagles players are on the list. One of them should be easy. One of them not so much.
Obviously, Brian Westbrook.
That's one.
And is this past 25 years?
We're sticking in the 21st century. So, no, I'm not asking you about Steve Van Buren.
Past 25 years.
Yes.
So we already got JD. We got Brian. Loved Corral Buckhalter. Definitely not up there.
Good save there.
I'm going to go with, he's only been here for a year.
The last 25 years, you got a lot of options. You already just said it's not Corral Buckhalter, which was smart. Buckhalter's not even in the top 20, by the way.
I know, but I loved him. He was injury plagued.
Nebraska, I believe, right?
Yep. Saquon?
Saquon is not yet even in the top 10.
Really?
The answer you were looking for was Deuce Staley. So now, for the steal and the chair, one more time for the radio audience. What is your name, sir?
Mark.
All right, Mark. You want an Eagles or Phillies question?
Phillies.
All right. Phillies question you are getting is. Whoop, that would have been the wrong one. All right. So we've heard a lot about Ryan Howard because Kyle Schwarber has a chance to break his single season record. Ryan Howard is the second most home runs in Phillies history. Number 1 is Mike Schmidt. Number 2 is Ryan Howard. Who is behind Howard, who has played in the last 25 years on the Phillies all-time home runs list?
Not first base, right? Can be any position?
Any position. Just anybody who hit a home run. Ryan Howard has 382. The next player I'm talking about has 251.
Let's go with Scott Rowland.
Scott Rowland is incorrect. Scott Rowland is not even in the top 10. So now back to Tim.
Music
All
bed.
right, we got to hurry this up, guys. We're at the end of the show here.
Let's go.
All right, who's the answer? What's the answer?
To that question?
Yes.
Jim Tomei. I don't know.
That is incorrect. All right, we'll have to continue the trivia after the show here. We'll continue it here at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. You guys will have to keep going the battle for the chair. Thanks, everybody, for coming out for yesterday's Hanging with Hennig, wrapping up on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. We will finish the trivia contest coming up on the other side because we got one more Malibu chair. Thanks to Mike Carlin for joining me here on site. Thanks to everybody who came out. Thanks to Nick, the bartender behind the bar. Always does a great job back there. And don't forget, next Saturday, we will be at Tropicana, Atlantic City at the Gridiron Pit for our next road show. And then we'll be back here at yesterday's later next month. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, 12 3 p.m. Follow me on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig.
Hey, South
See you guys.
Jersey, this is Billy Schwein. Tune into the locker room every